The other two truth realization state beast cultivator were shook seeing that the two were seemingly evenly matched. A truth realization state level 1 was evenly matched with truth realization state level 7. This wasn't normal at all. The other two truth realization state beast cultivator were shook seeing that the two were seemingly evenly matched. A truth realization state level 1 was evenly matched with truth realization state level 7. This wasn't normal at all. At this moment, there was another crack. Everyone else didn't hear it clearly, but Mo and the beast cultivator fighting him did. His domain cracked, and the beast cultivator's face changed. If he fell in Mo's domain, even if he didn't get killed, he would be heavily injured. Before Mo could completely extend his domain, his red axe swiped, and the flames enveloped by the purple sword rays broke free and instantly condensed into one big flower. As soon as it formed, it turned more than 10 meters long. It smashed at Mo above his head. At the same time, he released his axe again, but this time, the axe shadow wasn't aimed at Mo, but the hundreds of meters of air around Mo. The beast cultivator clearly wanted to kill Mo before Mo fully expanded his domain. He didn't believe that Mo would be able to escape. With such power, the beast cultivator were cheering. Everyone on Mo's side saw this, but none of them could help Mo. Even if they could, there were two truth realization state cultivators watching on the side. Mo sneered. He also instantly expanded his domain. It was many times stronger than when he fought with the beast cultivator. The beast cultivator instantly was bound by Mo's domain. His face changed. He knew he was tricked. Mo didn't use his domain completely at all before. He only used 1/5. This was his real domain. The axe shadow had gone in Mo's domain and became slow like a turtle sunk into mud. The huge flaming flower also seemed to be falling down slower. The beast cultivator was shook. He suddenly spat essence blood at the red flower. With this, the flower shone brightly again, and its temperature rose up drastically. Even space was distorting in this temperature. Mo's face changed. He waved Su in the air. The beast cultivator wanted to call for help, but when he saw Mo's face changed greatly, he resisted the urge to do so. He was fighting a truth realization state level 1 insect, and if he called for help, he would have no more face in the future. The other two saw that Ku Tsang didn't seem to be in the right state, but he seemed to have the upper hand, so they didn't mind. At this moment, Su activated a vibrant purple ray, and even the huge flower was immersed by the light. Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. When the beast cultivator realized that his flaming flower didn't stop the purple ray, and it arrived above his head, his face went pale. Not good, he was tricked. Such a cunning human cultivator. He wasn't scared of his flower at all. He acted scared. He immediately wanted to call for help, but it was too late now. Purple ray sliced over his body like it was made of tofu, bringing about a bloody mist. Even his essence spirit was annihilated by the purple ray. At the same time, Mo picked up a storage ring. This wasn't it. The red flaming flower saw instantly put into a jade box by Mo closing the lid. Mo slapped on a few restrictions and threw the box in a storage ring. A red Sha-Mei flame. Mo only needed a few seconds to put it away. He would have plenty of time to spirit control it later. This set of actions was done very smoothly. Clearly he was a professional. Ku Tsang, the truth realization state peak stage, was about to stare his eyes out. Ku Tsang, who had the clear upper hand, was instantly killed moments later. I'm going to tear you apart. The truth realization state peak stage couldn't keep calm anymore and waved a blue shadow in his hand as he charged up. Mo sneered. He didn't use his full power fighting that Ku Tsang at all. He killed one first, just in case these guys went to attack Blue Moon. Now that there was only two truth realization state cultivators left, he didn't worry at all. Ling could deal with the remaining cultivators. Before the truth realization state peak stage reached Mo, The blue shadow whipped out tens of small beads. Some were blue, some were white. Yi Mo felt strange. What cultivation method was this? He immediately released Octagonal Cauldron. It was better to be safe no matter what. As soon as he did, the beads exploded into a waterfall of killing intent. Each bead of the waterfall and killing intent, as though just touching these water beads would mean being torn apart. The space around here were completely squeezed, making Yi Mo unable to escape. Yi Mo sighed. So powerful. If it wasn't him, other cultivators would really be unable to escape. There were endless means in this world indeed. But he wasn't scared. His domain had completely expanded out, and Octagonal Cauldron's shadow shielded him. Rumble. Octagonal Cauldron clashed with the waterfall, but the sound wasn't of water but metal clashing together. The vibration even made Yi Mo's meridians rattle a little. The water spark and water arrow was blocked by Yi Mo's domain again, and not a single drop could enter Yi Mo's domain. At this moment, Yi Mo released Sisu too. The waterfall's killing intent didn't affect Yi Mo at all. The truth realization state peak stage's heart sunk. He realized that they kicked a hard brick this time. He also realized that Yi Mo was being serious when he said he didn't want to run, but there was no way back now. Just when the beast cultivator was planning to let everyone go up together, space rattled again, and the sea roared too. The truth realization state peak stage was furious and stared at the disaster transformation state tertiary stage cultivator controlling the formation, Shanyu, who let you to start the formation. This formation was enough to stop Yi Mo's flying magic artifact, but not enough to injure a cultivator like Yi Mo. The next moment, he realized Shanyu didn't activate the formation. A space disposition appeared at where Shan Yu was tearing him into bloody mist. Even his essence spirit was gone. 1 kilometer-tall wave rose up into the air, and before the wave even hit people, the rattling space flow made the cultivators feeling a powerful suction force. See quake. The truth realization state peak stage beast cultivator's face change drastically. He knew this was a real seaquake, not the power of the formation. He no longer had the will to fight Yi Mo and immediately released a shield wanting to dash out of the range of the seaquake. The other beast cultivators realized this too. As a cauldron-filling state beast cultivator was swooped away by Space Fisher, the rest of the cultivator's face went extremely pale. This wasn't something that humans could defend against. So what if your truth realization state peak stage? There was nothing you can do against this seaquake. Yi Mo's face changed too. He saw a blue moon rattling in the space as though it would be swooped away by space fishers at any time. Song Yangzhu's face was pale. Yi Ling called out, "Brother, get back here." But Yi Mo knew there was no difference being on Blue Moon and being outside right now. Blue Moon had a larger volume and was easier to be taken away. Plus, there were some small space fissures between him and the Blue Moon. Who knows if they would explode when he went near them? Yi Mo put away his octagonal cauldron and yelled to Ji Ling, Ji Qianbei, "Put Blue Moon on full throttle and go back to South Peace State first. I'll come after." "No, I'm going to wait for you to come before I go," Song Yangzhu yelled. Before Yi Mo could speak, a terrifying roar sounded. A figure that was 1 kilometer tall rose out from the huge waves. Before people could see what it was, a huge claw easily grabbed a disaster transformation state cultivator and crushed him into mince. Before Yi Mo could speak, a terrifying roar sounded. A figure that was 1 kilometer tall rose out from the huge waves. Before people could see what it was, a huge claw easily grabbed a disaster transformation state cultivator and crushed him into mince. Only then did Yi Mo see clearly what this thing was. It was a very strange-looking fish. This fish had 2 wings and 4 huge claws. It had golden scales on its body, but the 2 scales on its back was very faint-colored. Magical beast Kun. Yi Mo just thought of what this beast was, and someone else called it out. Looking at its power, Not even multiple truth realization state peak stage were a match for it. Before Yemo could react, the Kun stopped. It didn't attack the other beast cultivator, and instead looked at Blue Moon. Moments later, it made a more terrifying howl. It charged at Blue Moon. Yemo instantly realized what was going on. This Kun was the one that was hunted before. The two scales on its back weren't fully grown and had a faint color. Now, it must sense that Blue Moon has its scale, so it was furious. Realizing this, Yemo released Zisu without hesitation and hacked with Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike with all his cultivation essence. He can't let Kun grab Blue Moon. If it does, then everyone on it would be dead. After that, Yemo yelled Jiangwen, quickly tell Ji Qianbei to control Blue Moon and leave. Get back to MOU City as quickly as possible. You know I can protect myself. The Sequake is spreading. Blue Moon needs to get out quickly. Yemo couldn't speak anymore. He even felt breathing was hard. Jiling already started controlling Blue Moon to dash out at full speed. He knew Yemo was right. They wouldn't be able to help even if they were here. Plus, Jiling knows Yemo has a small world. There was nothing else they could do. Blue Moon go out wobbly. It was very fast, but in this Sequake space, it couldn't go the fastest. Thud. Zisu's purple beam clashed with the huge claw of Kun, creating a shocking screeching sound. The rattling space became more violent, and some space fissures started to show in this clash, but they quickly healed. Yemo spat a mouthful of blood immediately and flew out. He stopped himself after 30 meters. Illusion Cloud, Hua Mountain Strike. If he can't spill the blood of the enemy, he would spill blood himself. This was the first time Illusion Cloud, Hua Mountain, came back without spilling blood. His strike only left a white mark on the Kun claw. Arg. The other truth realization state level 7 beast cultivator was unlucky and was swept away by Space Fisher. But Yemo didn't have the time to care about them. He didn't even have time to recover, as he released Zisu again, swiping at Kun. He wasn't going to let Kun leave him to attack Blue Moon. The Kun ignored Yemo after knocking him away. It immediately began to chase Yemo. But Yemo's second strike came. It was Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike again. Rumble. Yemo was knocked flying again, but after spitting blood in air, Yemo charged back relentlessly. The truth realization state level 9 saw that Yemo dared to fight a magical beast Kun that was beyond level 10 with his life. He sweated cold. His shallow sea palace dared to attack someone like this. They must be mad. This was asking for trouble. Another huge wave charged up from the sea, swooping at him. He couldn't watch the battle anymore and quickly retreated, but only after 10 meters, a huge space fissure appeared out of nowhere and devoured him. Yemo's third strike struck the claw of Kun. Splurge, blood shot out, and Yemo took it into a jade bottle without hesitation. Kun was finally enraged by Yemo now. Yemo hacked him in the same spot 3 times, and the third strike made a deep gash in his claw. This wasn't it. This insect cultivator dared to take his blood. He turned around and clawed down at Yemo. Yemo didn't dare to fight head-on with Kun. He immediately wanted to retreat, but he felt movement was difficult. Even breathing was difficult. Yemo realized that this was Kun's domain. It was natural and much more powerful than the domain cultivators use. He knew that he can't be bound. If he does get bound, he would be over. He would turn into mince under Kun's claw. Yemo also expanded out his domain. He released Octagonal Cauldron again. That instant, he broke free from Kun's domain and used his domain to form a standoff with Kun's domain. Thud, thud, thud. Kun claw Yemo's Octagonal Cauldron. Octagonal Cauldron was sent flying by the claw, and Yemo spat mouthfuls of blood again. Yemo's face went pale, but when he found there was a huge space fissure waiting for him, he forcefully changed direction mid-air, barely avoiding it. Crack! Yi Mo knew that his force change cracked 2 of his bones. Yi Mo ate a few pills and Kun chased over again. Seeing this, Yi Mo didn't move aside. Instead, he clutched Su tightly, waiting to give Kun a heavy blow when it came. Seeing that Yi Mo dared to wait for him, Kun was furious. His speed increased, and in less than a second, Yi Mo was under its claw. It snarled furiously. He was certain this insect was dead now because Yi Mo had nowhere to run. But when Kun got closer, it dazed. The insect-human cultivator was gone. It subconsciously looked back. He clearly saw that the human cultivator didn't fall into the space fissure. Why was it gone? Before Kun could react, Yi Mo came out of the Golden Page world and hacked Su with full power while using countless lightning sword attacks. Yi Mo was determined to send this disaster into space fissure. Kun dared to fight Yi Mo and Blue Moon here because he was very sensitive to space fissure and disposition. Before he could react, the human cultivator suddenly attacked again. This attack was aimed at his eye, and there were this many terrifying lightning swords. His eyes were his weakest spot. How could he let the insect cultivator hit it? That instant, Kun retreated without hesitation. But when he retreated into the space fissure, he realized he was tricked. It roared furiously and sprayed out a blue mist. The blue mist enveloped Yi Mo and brought him into the fissure. Seeing this, Yi Mo was shook, but before he could react, he was brought in. The terrifying bones scraping space, wind, shocked him. He wanted to dash out immediately, but the next moment he saw that the fissure was gone. Yi Mo reacted quickly. The fissure was gone. This meant he was inside a void space. With his power, this was suicide. Yi Mo didn't dare to watch the Kun at all, and went into the Golden Page world immediately. Even if he was to come out, it would be after he figured out what this dimension was. Luckily, Kun came in here too, and that means it can't go hunt Blue Moon. After settling in the Golden Page world, Yi Mo threw out a surveillance formation. As soon as the formation disk landed out, Yi Mo saw a gray world, or space. It was boundless and had no living beings. There were just the occasional asteroids floating past rapidly. As soon as the formation disk landed out, Yi Mo saw a gray world, or space. It was boundless and had no living beings. There were just the occasional asteroids floating past rapidly. Space wind blades flew in the space flow everywhere, and there were some unknown fine sands floating in the air. As for the Kun beast, it was nowhere to be seen. The surveillance formation disk didn't last long and was torn apart by a space wind blade. Yi Mo realized what was scraping his skin and bones. It was these fine sands. Yi Mo threw out a few surveillance formation disks, and everyone was torn apart. How can he get out of this place? After a long while, he tried coming out of the Golden Page world, wanting to test how powerful the space here was. But as soon as he came out, countless fine sands came striking at him. One fine sand flew over, and his armor was sliced apart. He couldn't dodge all those space wind blades at all. There were too many here. Screech. In a short time, Yi Mo's clothes and armor disappeared, and he didn't have a single area of uninjured skin. Yi Mo wanted to hide into the Golden Page world, but a black sand swiped past his waist. He couldn't even dodge it. Yi Mo saw a few more black lines coming over. He didn't dare to stay anymore, and quickly went into the Golden Page world. If he was slower, he would be dissected into countless parts by these lines. In the Golden Page world, Yi Mo laid naked and full of injuries. He had gashes everywhere, but he didn't intend to heal himself at all. He thought of that Feng Yizong. How was he able to survive in this space, tearing dimensions? Even if it was using the power of the space transmission rune, it was still very powerful. Yi Mo was certain that even if he could tear space, he wouldn't be able to get to a place that he could tear space. He was a rather powerful cultivator, and in this void space, there was nothing he could do at all to survive. Just what sort of cultivator would be able to survive in here? This was only the void space of the cultivation realm. If it was the void space of the immortal realm, wouldn't it be more horrifying? Only then did Yi Mo realize how absurd Chujuyu was. He ripped open dimension from Luo Yu and passed this endless void space, and the ripped open another portal to Earth. He not only needed to be able to tear space open, but also be able to travel in this chaotic space. This wasn't as simple as staying outside for a bit. He needed to search for the next dimension point for the destination. There would be places where the space wind blades and sands were gathered, but that was fine. However, if the black lines were gathered, who could stop it? Plus, there were more space disposition and fissures here. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. This meant that he had no way out. Even if he can tear space open, he wouldn't be able to find the position to go out. I didn't expect the difference between me and Chujuyu is this huge. Yi Mo sighed. When he beat Feng Yizong and Insu, he thought that even if there was a gap between him and Chujuyu, it wouldn't be too big, but now he realized just how much difference there was. But then Yi Mo thought, if Chujuyu could tear open space of Luoyu to Earth, why can't he go back from Earth to Luoyu? It probably wasn't that he didn't want to go back to Luoyu unless something happened. That was, he knew he didn't have the ability to tear open space a second time. Or it was a special occasion that he was able to tear open space to Earth. Yi Mo sat down, had thought of another possibility. Even if he could tear open space, who could be sure that the portal was to Luoyu? Yi Mo shook his head. He can't even come out of his golden page, world, much less tear open space. In this place, perhaps only a cultivator whose body refinement has reached an extreme state can survive. Suddenly, Yi Mo got up. Body refinement. Didn't he have a body refinement cultivation method? The Wu God chant. Although he can't go out, this was a very powerful cultivation ground. A cultivation ground for Wu God chant. It was incomplete, but he didn't need a complete one. He can use the three birth chant to create his own body refinement cultivation method. On the Luo Yu continent, the body refinement cultivators had 9 states. 3 states were master, 6 states were king, 9 states were god. The 3 master states were bone state, gone state, and master state. 3 king states were hollow state, soul state, and king state. The 3 god states were monarch state, disaster state, and god state. There were rarely anyone on Luo Yu continent who went to practice body refinement. It was rare for cultivators to even reach master state. As for king state, they were 1 in a millennium. As for the 3 god states, they were just of the legends. The main reason was that body refinement used up too much cultivation resources, and in battle body refinement, cultivators can't beat truth cultivators. The main reason is that body refinement cultivators would only have increased lifespan at king state. Otherwise, even if you reached master state, you had the lifespan of an ordinary person. Usually it was cultivators who didn't have spirit root who chose body refinement. Plus, body refinement cultivation methods were very rare, and there were no high-level body refinement cultivation methods in Luo Yu. If you didn't have spirit root, you wouldn't have large amounts of resources to cultivate body refinement. So, you wouldn't be able to reach high levels. High-level cultivators had the resource to practice body refinement, but they didn't even have enough time for cultivation. So no one chose body refinement. Yi Mo had decided to start body refinement. With the use of 3 birth chant, Yi Mo was surprised to find that he easily converted the Wu God chant into a body refinement cultivation method. Almost instantly he reached bone state. Was this because he was a body refinement genius? Or was it because he was truth realization state cultivator? So the first level was so easy. Or was his first level wrong? Thinking about this, Yi Mo used his cultivation essence to form a cycle according to the bone state, and soon there was a light golden aura around him. What shook him more was that his wounds healed without him eating any pills. Yi Mo felt that golden ray, and was certain that this was indeed the first state bone state. Realizing this, Yi Mo felt he might be able to reach the king state or even the 3 god states in a short time. Yi Mo quickly put on some clothes and sat next to the bitter bamboo on the Herb King Spirit Range. He didn't continue cultivating the second level. He wanted to use 3-birth chant to form the entire new body refinement system first, and then cultivate. Yi Mo had 3 extreme grade spirit range and 1 Herb King Spirit Range. Yi Mo had 3 extreme grade spirit range and 1 Herb King Spirit Range. Although it was too much of a waste to use extreme grade spirit range to power the time formation disk, but he couldn't care at this moment. 1 month outside, and 1 year passed in the time formation disk. Yi Mo used this year to reform the new body refinement cultivation method system. Yi Mo called it the 3-God body refinement chant. Yi Mo had never seen body refinement cultivation method, and he knew his body refinement system was imperfect. He needed to cultivate and find mistakes inside to perfect the system. When Yi Mo left the Golden Page world, he had used up nearly half of the extreme grade spirit range. This was so wasteful, and it could only reach 12 times speed. The immortal crystals were so much better, it easily reached 100 times speed. The second level of body refinement was gone state, forming a barrier of golden chi outside your body. This chi attached to the surface of the body, making it hard like a rock. Even ordinary magic artifact wouldn't be able to break through it. Yi Mo thought he would be able to reach it shortly, but when Yi Mo used the 3-God body refinement chant, he found that the second state was completely different to the first. He spent 3 days inside and didn't get any progress. Yi Mo thought of body refinement because of the chaos flow outside. So now that he had no progress in the Golden Page world, he immediately left. As soon as he came out, the space wind blades with the space chaos flow started to swipe across his body. The fine sands started tearing at his armor. But this time, as soon as his armor was marked, a golden light formed on the surface of his body. The golden body protection cultivation essence came out, and the fine sands hit on the golden barrier. A light crack sounded, and the golden barrier was torn open, but it started to repair itself under Yi Mo's cultivation essence. Yi Mo saw this and rejoiced. This body refinement cultivation method was really good. He only reached the first level, and he could last this long. If it was before, he would have long been scarred. The golden barrier broke, not because the cultivation method was bad, but because his level was too low. He reformed the barrier and started to cultivate the second level of body refinement, gone state. In this dangerous environment, Yi Mo soon felt a difference. He started to repair the weak parts and correct the mistakes. Yi Mo closed his eyes. He learned state. He could use state to feel the cultivation essence flow and the reorganization of his bones and blood. When Yi Mo woke up again, he found he had stayed outside the Golden Page world for an entire day. He didn't even need to activate the Gone Chi, and it would repair the golden barrier itself. So this was gone state, Yi Mo realized. He didn't go in the Golden Page world and started to cultivate the third state, Master State. When Yi Mo reached the Master State, he felt no progress. It was like something was missing. 3 days later, Yi Mo was stuck in Master State. Because he had the experience of the first and second level, Yi Mo left where he was. He felt the space wind blades and chaos flow. There was too little. He came to a place with more clustered space chaos flow and immediately felt pressure. He felt the fine sands were also more dense here. Even the black lines were more congregated. Moments later, the faint golden barrier was tattered, and a space wind blade sliced across Yi Mo's body, bringing up a bloody mist. Yi Mo was shook, and just when he wanted to go into the Golden Page world, he found that the third state's meridian flow suddenly opened, and instantly his golden barrier formed again. The next wave of space wind blades and black lines came. Yi Mo's barrier broke again, and when he was covered in wounds, his meridians were unblocked. Yi Mo immediately realized the way to cultivate 3-God body refinement chant. This wasn't cultivation. This was self-abuse. The master state was many times harder than the gone state, but even so Yemo reached it on the fourth day. He stayed at the same spot for a day, and then moved to a place with more space, wind blades, and chaos flows. He found that this void space was the best place for body refinement cultivation. As Yemo came to densely clustered places, he found a rule. In this void space, spirit chi wasn't evenly spread. Some places had dense spirit chi, some places didn't. Some places didn't have spirit chi at all. The places with more spirit chi had more space, wind blades, and chaos flows. Yemo also realized that the most dangerous thing here wasn't the slow-moving chaos flow or wind blades, but the black lines and the swirling chaos flows. The most dangerous was the space-fine sands that Yemo didn't think was very powerful. When densely clustered, it can instantly tear a person into pieces, and the powerful lines, and instantly slice a person in half. If Yemo didn't have Golden Page World and the three-god body refinement chant, he would have died more than once. As for the space eddies and space storms, Yemo didn't even dare to go near. This place was indeed the best place for body refinement. Yemo suspected that the small world Kong Yi gave Shan Di would be torn apart by the sands here. If some other cultivator wanted to practice body refinement here, he would need to be at least hollow state or above, and can't stay in dangerous places to cultivate. Otherwise, he might be killed at any time. Even with Yemo's experience, the body refinement cultivation method and Golden Page World, he was heavily injured more than 10 times. Once he almost lost an arm. Another time, a powerful space blade line almost cut him in half. Luckily, he instantly went into the Golden Page World and saved his life. He went in not because his reaction was fast, but that his sixth sense was strong. If it wasn't that he wanted to go out, so he had to cultivate body refinement. Yemo wouldn't risk his life like this. He knew that if he didn't risk his life, now he would need to do so later. Waiting would never result in progress after countless dangerous times. And as his body refinement power is increasing, Yemo got injured less times. Sometimes he would dash into the Golden Page World as soon as he sensed danger. A month later, Yemo came to a denser place and broke through hollow state, reaching soul state. After that, Yemo finally felt a little safer in here. He didn't need to dodge ordinary space chaos flows. He could easily set up a powerful defense, and that golden barrier fused with his skin. Ordinary wind blades did nothing to him now. His body refinement even progressed towards essence spirit, so his essence spirit had some defense now too. But Yemo knew this was far from enough. His goal was to reach into the three god states. Even the lowest monarch state was enough for him. But Yemo knew this was far from enough. His goal was to reach into the three god states. Even the lowest monarch state was enough for him. In the 4 months in this void space, Yemo gritted his teeth and went into the space whirlpool. He knew that if he didn't fight for it with his life, he would never reach king state, much less monarch state. As soon as Yemo went into the space whirlpool, a powerful space disruption instantly brought Yemo in. In the blink of an eye, Yemo's clothes were torn off. His skin started to crack. Even his soul state body wasn't able to block it for a moment. Compared to these space whirlpools, those black lines, chaos flow, and the sands were nothing. This was really the epicenter of death. Yemo used three god body refinement chant to the extreme, but still he felt his skin and bones were going to be stripped away. Yemo even wanted to charge into the Golden Page World, but he knew that if he did, he wouldn't be able to reach king state in a short time. Or even if he did, there would be a sliver of fear in his heart. Yemo ate a few pills, and the sixth state cultivation method was run at full power. The mistakes were being corrected, and his essence blood being purified. His bones, flesh, and even essence spirit were being strengthened. 15 minutes later, that tearing feeling was still there, but compared to when he first came in, it was completely. Yi Mo knew if he continued doing this, his king state cultivation method would be perfected. 3 days later, his skin and was still being taken away, and so was his blood. Even his bones were being broken down inch by inch. 6 days later, the loss of blood and skin were very slow, but now, Yi Mo's entire body was pale due to loss of blood. However, he shut his eyes close and kept weaving hand signs, bringing the broken meridians and the blood to flow in a certain way. It was as though the space whirlpool hurting him didn't exist. 9 days later, the blood on his body had stopped splashing yut. Even his bones stopped breaking. 12 days later, Yi Mo's wounds gradually started healing. 18 days later, his torn skin started to grow back, but at this moment, he suddenly opened his eyes and ate a few pills. At the same time, he broke off a piece of the ICL and ate it. This was his last immortal curl flower. Even when Chu Yun broke her arm, he didn't give her one. He could give her pills and spirit range because he got things from Chu Xiaoyi, but also due to Kong Yi. The immortal curl flower was different. There was no price for this. This was something to save life with. How can he give it to Chu Yun so easily? He gave one to Miao Huizhen because she was guarding them to begin with, so he robbed her. He gave one to Jie Feng because he was no match for Jie Feng. If he didn't give it him, he would rob him. Luckily, Jie Feng didn't and gave him some pills instead. He gave the third one to Jie Ling because Ji Ling was someone he respected and lost his body due to him. But Chu Yun was different. He kept his last remaining immortal curl flower, and now, indeed, he used it himself. On the 25th day, Yi Mo's wounds completely disappeared, and his skin had recovered, being smoother than before. It was a little darker, but Yi Mo liked it this way. He didn't want his skin to be too white like a girl's. 28 days later, Yi Mo's bones cracked, and his cultivation essence flowed even faster. This cracking continued for 2 hours. Afterwards, Yi Mo took a step forward, and joy flashed in his eyes. He knew he had reached King State now. He took a step forward and could easily stand in the space whirlpool that destroyed his armor before. As Yi Mo stepped out more, the space whirlpools even split apart. Yi Mo howled and used his hands to break the whirlpool. His body was extremely strong now. Yi Mo could tell that even though his cultivation level didn't increase, the King State body refinement greatly enhanced his cultivation speed. He would only be cultivating faster in the future. At the same time, Yi Mo sighed. If he knew body refinement was helpful to cultivation, he would have long began doing that. But soon, Yi Mo realized that it was impracticable. If he wasn't body refining here, he wouldn't be this fast. When he reached King State, Yi Mo had the feeling that if he wanted to reach Monarch State in a short time, he would need to increase his power to Truth Realization State middle stage. Otherwise, he might not be able to reach Monarch State in 100 years. There was definitely some correlation between him reaching King State in 4 months and his cultivation level. In other words, if he was still Disaster Transformation State, he would at most reach Soul State here, or he might die in this space whirlpool. Nevertheless, Yi Mo didn't want to give up. 5 months had passed, and Yi Mo passed through all the dangers in this space, but there was still no clue to Monarch State. The 3 God States were still too far-fetched for him now. Yi Mo sighed. This was a perfect body refinement place, but he was still Truth Realization State Level 1. If he wanted to reach the 3 God States, he would either have to reach Truth Realization State middle stage or spend a few decades here. There were still disposition rivers and space storms in here, but Yi Mo didn't dare to go in there at all. Yi Mo felt that it would be suicide to go in there without reaching 3 God State. Luckily for him, his King State power was enough for him to survive in this void space. He can even walk around freely as long as he avoided the center of the space storm or those chaos flow rivers. When the space wind blades hit him, they were knocked away. The black lines that almost cut Yi Mo in half before broken into 2 parts when they hit him. In the Luo Yu continent, There had been people who reached king state, but Yi Emo believed that even if they did, they were a far cry compared to him. One was because that his body refinement cultivation method was birthed from three birth chant. Second was that they didn't have a training ground like this place. Just when Yi Mo wanted to check where the dimension barriers were at, an ice crystal thing appeared before him. Yi Mo casually grabbed it, and this soft, cool sensation passed into his hands. Void Ice Heart Rock? Yi Mo blurted out. This was a level 10 material. At this moment, Yi Mo looked at this dull gray space, and his eyes lit up. Was he going to get rich here? Half a month later, Yi Mo found 4-star soul gold. This was level 9 material used to make soul defense magic artifacts. They were very precious too. Yi Mo also found more than 10 top-grade star sand and 2 extreme-grade star sand. Half a month later, Yi Mo found 4-star soul gold. This was level 9 material used to make soul defense magic artifacts. They were very precious too. Yi Mo also found more than 10 top-grade star sand and 2 extreme-grade star sand. Yi Mo realized that although this void dimension was dangerous, it also had countless treasures. But this wasn't what Yi Mo wanted. He had enough materials now, and just wanted to find a place to tear open the dimension and leave here. Such dense spirit chi, Yi Mo stopped suddenly. He felt the dense spirit chi, but when he stopped, he found that he stood at a place with no space wind blades or chaos flow at all. Before, even the place with the weakest spirit chi had space wind blades and sands, but this place was filled with spirit chi, but had no space wind blades. Yi Mo stood here for a long time and scanned with spirit sense. He soon found there was no space chaos flow indeed. There was nothing in front as well. This meant that cultivators who hadn't trained in body refinement would be safe here too. Yi Mo retreated a bit and scanned with spirit sense. He found this was a boundary line. Forward from here was completely safe, but behind here was full of danger. Yi Mo was shook and scanned his spirit sense out. Instantly, he realized that this place was a formation, a powerful natural formation. There were some human markings here too. He could tell that the natural formation here could stop the chaos flow, but it didn't do a very good job. A formation grandmaster who was even better than him made amendments to it. The amendments immediately made this formation become a powerful tool in blocking the void dangers. Yi Mo was shook. The formation skills were so high that only immortal formation masters can set this up. The level 10 formation disc he saw was nothing compared to this. Did this mean there was someone living inside here? Someone who was an immortal formation master? Yi Mo scanned with spirit sense, but found it couldn't go very far. At this moment, 2 figures appeared in his spirit sense, 2 very fast figures. Yi Mo saw this and rejoiced. There were people living here indeed, and not just one. Yi Mo quickly chased up and said, "Friends, please hold up." Seeing Yi Mo chase up, the 2 sped up instead, as though they didn't want to see him. Yi Mo was confused. They were both truth, realization state, peak stage power. They didn't need to be afraid of him. He was just asking for the way. Thinking about this, Yi Mo chased up faster. The 2 didn't seem to care about Yi Mo following them, but just sped up faster. For hours later, a huge black city appeared in his spirit sense. He would have never expected that in a void space filled with killing intent, there would be a black city. But reality was so, and he saw the 2 cultivators go inside with his own eyes. Yi Mo was surprised for a moment, but immediately followed up. When he came to the door, he was shook even more. This entire city was built with void black star rock. That was level 7 forgery material, but soon his shock became dumbfounded. This city wasn't built, it was forged with void black star rock. Just how much forgery skills were needed to forge a city out of void black star rock? How much time would be needed? A newcomer, a crisp voice sounded. He saw two young cultivators sitting at the door of the city. They were both nascent soul state and seemed in their 20s. They were leaning closely together. Behind them was a truth realization state peak stage old man, but he stood behind them as though he was just a servant. At this moment, the two truth realization state peak stage EMO chased were standing together, and they seemed worried. The young man with dark skin and long face scanned the two and said calmly, "Seeing that you brought back a fat goat, leave 40% of your things." "Yes, young master, you." The two truth realization state cultivators rejoiced and took out a stack of ores. EMO looked at the ores and knew they were found in the chaos void space. Many of them were level 8 or level 9 forgery materials. "You guys can go," the young man said calmly. The two truth realization state peak stage seemed to have heard the best news and immediately disappeared into the city. At this moment, that young master you studied EMO before frowning. "Old Chio, why does this guy look so young? What power is he?" The old man said, "He's only truth realization state, level 1 power. The reason he's so young is probably because he ate some powerful spirit herb or had some fortune." Hearing this, young master you frowned. "He's a garbage." A mere truth realization state level 1 cultivator didn't die in the space chaos flow. What good things can he have? That young girl laughed and pinched the young man. "Not necessarily. Didn't you hear old Joe say that this person might have some fortune?" The young girl pointed at EMO truth realization state level 1. "Show me your storage ring." EMO scanned the two coldly, and old Joe but didn't attack. This was his first time here, and he didn't make clear of the situation here yet. At this moment, another truth realization state peak stage cultivator flew over and bowed to young master you and the girl before taking out a stack of ores. Seeing that, young master you nodded and took them. Then he waved his hand, and the cultivator flew into the city. EMO realized these two young people seemed to have very high status in the Black Rock City. Those cultivators who come in must give half of what they find to them. So domineering. These truth realization state peak stage cultivators all needed to listen to the two young cultivators. One could imagine how terrifying the power behind their backs were. "Trash, are you deaf? Did you not hear that I told you to bring over your storage ring?" The young girl's face went cold. EMO's face went cold and said coldly, "Why should I give my storage ring to you? Who are you?" As soon as EMO said this, a familiar figure dashed past. It was that truth realization state peak stage beast cultivator in the heartless sea who stopped him. He saw EMO and a glance of mockery flashed in his eyes, and he disappeared in the city. The young man suddenly laughed. Okay, I was just going to take the things I wanted before, but now I'm going to take everything. What are you going to do?" He scanned EMO scornfully. "This is my place. If I want you to hand over something, you have to hand it over." A mere truth realization state, level 1 cultivator didn't die in the space chaos flow. "But you dare to defy my order in the Black Rock City. You're asking to die." EMO frowned. He knew that the power of the city wasn't something he could mess with. So he said coldly, "Oh, your Black Rock City. Then I won't go in." Then EMO turned to leave. He really didn't want to go in now. This city was at most an asylum place in this void space, but he was king state in body refinement. He didn't fear the outside. "Ha!" The young man laughed. "A mere truth realization state, level 1 trash, dare to go when you please. Do you think the Black Rock City is a charity?" EMO ignored the young man's words. He couldn't even be bothered explaining, and was going to charge into the chaos flow space. EMO ignored the young man's words. He couldn't even be bothered explaining, and was going to charge into the chaos flow space. Old Joe cut of his legs. "Young master, you sneered." Before the old man moved, the young girl added, "Cut at his ears too. Since he's deaf, he doesn't need ears." "Yes, young master." "Princess Chuan," old Joe said. and dashed in front of Yi-Mo. Yi-Mo was furious. First, he didn't go in the city. Second, he didn't do anything wrong. And there was such unreasonable people. Cut off your own legs and ears, the old man said with a bitter face. Yi-Mo was so furious, he laughed. Bullshit. Then he realized Zissou. Since he can't avoid the fight, he won't hesitate. In this type of world, he didn't need to beg for mercy. Seeing the purple ray, the old man's eyes narrowed. This wasn't something a truth realization state level 1 could use. Killing intent filled up the space, tens of meters around the sword ray. A weak cultivator would be killed purely by the killing intent of this purple ray. This old man suddenly felt that this truth realization state level 1 wasn't so easy to talk to. He raised his hand, and a black sword ray flashed. A dark as ink lightning sword was released, but the next moment, he felt his body pause. Great completion domain, the old man called out in shock, and before he could break free of Yi-Mo's domain, he saw 2 smaller purple rays fly out of Zissou. The 2 saw that Yi-Mo dared to release his magic artifact and fight with old Jiu and laughed again. The young girl pointed at Yi-Mo. Brother you, no wonder he dares to not listen to us. He's an idiot. Before she finished laughing, she saw 2 purple sword rays fly over, yet old Jiu, who protected them, couldn't stop that. At the same time, old Jiu was very shocked too. He didn't believe that people dared to kill young Master Yu in the Black Rock City. This cultivator was even a truth realization state level 1 cultivator. Old Jiu burst his cultivation essence and instantly broke free from Yi-Mo's domain. Just when he wanted to block the 2 purple sword rays, he saw 2 red light flash up. The purple sword rays cut off the heads of the 2 nascent soul state cultivators easily. Blood splashed out. The girl still had a laughing expression, while the man was full of shock. 2 nascent souls seeped out of the body and wanted to run, but 2 more lightning swords struck and disintegrated the nascent souls. A few cultivators watching this were shook but exclaimed, this foreign truth realization state level 1 cultivator was so ferocious. But immediately they left here quickly, as though they had never seen this. Clearly they didn't want trouble. Old Jiu saw this, and his eyes were about to bulge out. He roared, and the black sword turned into countless sword veils wanting to swoop Yi-Mo. At the same time, Yi-Mo heard a furious roar, who dares to kill my children? But when the last syllable sounded, it was already at the city gates. Yi-Mo was shook. He was planning on teaching this old Jiu a lesson, but he couldn't care about that now. He used mobility magic and disappeared from the city gates. Yi-Mo was already in the upper hand of the battle, so old Jiu could only watch Yi-Mo run off. Yi-Mo's 5-element mobility wasn't in initial mastery yet, but it was enough for him to escape out of the city. As soon as Yi-Mo disappeared, a furious middle-aged man came to the city gates. Another beautiful woman, and more than 10 truth realization state peak stage cultivators flew here. If Yi-Mo was here, he would be shocked to see so many truth realization state peak stage. They each had an ancient chi, and it was impossible to tell old they were. The beautiful woman cried by the body of the young Master Yu. Who killed my son? I'm going to melt his bones and burn his soul. The middle-aged man suddenly said, Sister Yen, don't worry. Even if he escapes to the center of Space Storm, I will bring him back. Then the middle-aged man looked coldly at the pale-faced old Jiu. The old man knelt down and said shakily, City Lord, Jiu Kai is useless and wasn't able to protect the young master and Princess Chuan. The middle-aged man's face went even colder. This means that the cultivator who killed them was a truth realization state peak stage, and much more powerful than you? Jiu Kai said with a pale face, No, he's only truth realization state level 1, but his domain is in great completion, much more perfect than my domain. I didn't notice this. Ha ha ha. You didn't notice this. The middle-aged man looked coldly at old Jiu. This means that a mere truth realization state level 1 killed you and Chuan in front of you, and left as he pleased, but you can't even stop him for a second. Jiu Kai sweated even more, and the sweat dripped off his face, landing on the black rock ground. "Is that it?" the middle-aged man asked coldly again. Old Joe said shakily, "Yes, City Lord, I will capture him. Please give me a chance, City Lord." "Give you a chance?" City Lord's voice calmed down instead, and looked at the old man in contempt. He waved his hand, and a blue flame went out surrounding the old man. He could only make half a howl before he was turned to dust. Not even his essence spirit was left. This was also a mist lotus heartfire, but a blue-colored one. Then the man said coldly, "A mere trash deserves another chance." Then the middle-aged man turned to the truth realization state cultivators behind him and said, "No matter where this person came from, since he dares to kill the young city lord at the Black Rock City, he must be brought back. Go out now, no matter who can capture him. I will reward him dearly." "Yes, City Lord," they replied in unison and disappeared at the city gates. The beautiful woman was still crying. The middle-aged man grabbed her hand and said, "Sister Yen, come with me to the Voic Chaos Flow space and bring back that bastard. I will make you happy." The beautiful woman nodded her head and left with the man. At the same time, in a very luxurious palace, another beautiful woman roared to another man, Yang Feijing, "Your daughter is killed, and you don't even care. Are you a man?" The man's face changed drastically. "What? Chuan was killed? I'm so furious." The man's hands even began shaking. Seeing this, the beautiful snorted in contempt, "I'm going to capture the culprit, you useless garbage." The beautiful figure disappeared in the palace. Then the man who was shaking with anger got up casually and looked coldly at the direction the woman left, murmuring, "Great, great kill, very great kill." Then he flew out of the palace slowly. Yi Mo felt very annoyed while running. Why was it that he always offended those bastards with powerful backgrounds? Yi Mo felt very annoyed while running. Why was it that he always offended those bastards with powerful backgrounds? Lightning Cloud Sect Tian Alfing, Infinity Sect Yuan Guanan, and some Tong Hai Cult Yongwuzi and Yong Yuer. Yi Mo didn't even know how many of these people he had offended, but he knew this was related to his character. If it was some other cultivator, he probably would have handed up his storage ring. But he wasn't going to. He had too many good things inside. If he was going to transfer it, perhaps the truth realization state old man would notice and his golden page world would be exposed. Plus, even if he didn't have any good things, he wouldn't give his storage ring unless there was no other way. After a while, Yi Mo stopped. He believed that those Black Rock City people wouldn't be able to chase up to him in this void, chaos flow city. He was king state body refinement power, and with this speed, who could catch up to him? But Yi Mo stopped for less than 15 minutes, and few multiple extremely powerful cultivation essence waves scan over. Yi Mo was shook. Clearly, this was truth realization state peak stage power. With this many people all coming towards his direction, it was obvious they were coming at him. How were there so many masters in the Black Rock City? Yi Mo didn't understand. Even if they were masters, how could they move so fast in this void? Clearly, they were all experienced in body refinement. Yi Mo knew that even though he had left so early and was still caught up, it was pointless to run. However, he had to keep running. If he stayed here and got surrounded, he would be dead for sure. No matter how absurd he was only a truth realization state level 1 cultivator. Just when Yi Mo wanted to change a direction to run, he heard a voice not far ahead say, "Follow me, this way." Yi Mo was shook. This voice was so close to him, but he didn't even notice it. If this person didn't speak to him, he wouldn't be able to notice even till now. But Yi Mo knew this voice probably had no ill will. Otherwise, he would have been ambushed already. Realizing this, Yi Mo headed towards the direction of the sound without hesitation. Moments later, he saw the person making the sound. He was hiding behind the space chaos flow. No wonder he couldn't see him before. This person looked skinny and black. There was some mustache on his chin. He wasn't very handsome, but he had distinctive features. The man immediately said to Yi Emo, "Don't turn back. Come with me now. If you fall into those bastards' hands, you will die for sure." Yi Emo saluted with his fists. "Thank you, friend." "I'm Yi Emo." The man nodded. "I'm Di Shueming." "This isn't the place to talk. Let's leave first." Then the black skinny man turned, and Yi Emo saw his figure fading. Yi Emo followed quickly. 8 hours later, the man stopped by a space whirlpool and closed his eyes for a long while before opening them. "It's fine now. They have lost track of us." Yi Emo quickly asked, "I've left that much earlier." "How do they know my tracks? And what is this place?" Di Shueming studied Yi Emo and said, "You're very amazing. You're only truth realization state level 1, but you can come into the void fissure and survive till now. Pity with your age. If you didn't fall into void fissure, you can easily ascend into the immortal realm at any realm." Yi Emo didn't answer to this. Di Shueming said again, "The cultivators living here call this place void fissure. It's a void space between two realms. If nothing special happens, those who come here can't go out and will stay here till they die." "What? You can't go out?" Yi Emo asked. Di Shueming nodded. "I'm not lying to you. I'm truth realization state peak stage, but I've been stuck here for nearly 600 years, so don't think about going out." "Wait, I heard people can tear open dimensions. If you tear open dimension here, you would be able to go out?" Yi Emo asked in confusion. Di Shueming sneered. "Even if you have the power to tear open space, you can't go out in here. Those masters who tear open dimensions tear open the void space between two realms and can go to another realm. But there's another possibility, and that is the position you tear open the space is wrong, and you encountered a void fissure. Once you go in, you would never be able to find the dimension spot, and thus would never be able to go out. Of course, there aren't a lot of cultivators who can tear open dimensions. Most were unlucky and fell into void fissure." Then he saluted with his fists. "Brother D, I saw 5 or 6 truth realization state peak stage cultivators at the city gates. How do they have so many truth realization state peak stages?" Di Shueming laughed. "That's called a lot. I'll be honest with you, there's about 100K truth realization state cultivators in the Black Rock City. At the peak, there were about a few 100,000 of them. Look, I'm a truth realization state peak stage. Plus, aren't all the truth realization state cultivators you see truth realization state peak stage? Oh, you're an exception. I really don't get how a truth realization state level 1 can live to find Black Rock City and offend them. You're quite amazing." Yi Emo was completely shocked. More than 100K truth realization state peak stage cultivators in Black Rock City. This was too absurd. What level city was this? Level 11? After a long while, Yi Emo asked in shock, "How can there be so many truth realization state cultivators in Black Rock City? Are there this many people falling into space fissures accidentally?" Di Shueming said sadly, "Because most cultivators were scammed. They came from their respective realms, and when they were about to ascend into the immortal realm, they found they couldn't get in at all. When they wanted to go back to the cultivation realm, they found they couldn't go back, so they were all trapped here. You can say that they've been abandoned by the Heaven Tao." Di Shueming looked at the endless void fissure and chaos flow before sighing. They had great joy and hopes of ascending into the immortal realm to seek a higher cultivation state, but what greeted them wasn't that. It was endless void chaos flow, wind blades, and sandstorm. Yi Emo took a cold breath in. He thought of the big seal in the West Extreme State Sand River that stopped all cultivators from ascending into the immortal realm. He didn't expect that other realms that allowed immortal ascension were stopped halfway. Was there a huge seal in the immortal realm blocking all those cultivators wanting to ascend into it? Thinking about this, Yi Emo looked at Di Shueming. "Brother D, are you too?" Di Shueming nodded. "I'm also a cultivator abandoned by Heaven Tao. I came from Shen Xiong cultivation realm. You think 100K truth realization state peak stage is a lot. No, this is very little. Only one in a few would be able to survive in the space fissure and find the Black Rock City. Those cultivators trapped here can only increase their lifespan every day in hopes of breaking into the immortal realm during their lifetime. Even if they can't go into the immortal realm, they would be willing to go back to their cultivation realm. But the fact is, over the countless years, no one has succeeded. Di Shueming didn't seem to want to talk about this anymore and looked at Yi Mo with curiosity. You're a truth realization state level 1 cultivator, and it's already a miracle that you survived in the void fissure. I really don't get how you offended the guards of Black Rock City, and they even send people after you. Yi Mo patted his head in frustration. Because I killed a young Master Yu and a woman called Princess Chuan. What? Di Shueming exclaimed in shock. Di Shueming pulled Yi Mo and said, "Let's quickly go. You actually offended the Black Rock City's Hades City Lord. Even if we escape to here, he will catch up to us." Di Shueming pulled Yi Mo and said, "Let's quickly go. You actually offended the Black Rock City's Hades City Lord. Even if we escape to here, he will catch up to us." Yi Mo approved highly of this Di Shueming's running capabilities, so he listened to him without hesitation, following him into the void again. On the way, Yi Mo realized that Di Shueming's body refinement skills were even higher than his. He was at the monarch state. The wind blades didn't affect him at all. He even dashed into some space whirlpools without hesitation. After 5 days, Di Shueming took Yi Mo to a dark red place. The space wind blades here were extremely hot. Even though Yi Mo was King State Body Refiner, the wind blades hurt him a little. Di Shueming stopped here and panted, "No matter how powerful the Black Hades is, he won't be able to find here." Then he raised a thumb at Yi Mo. "You're Balsi. You dare to even kill that old guy's son. Luckily you didn't see his other son, or you would have probably killed them both. Those 2 bastards, they were born by his wife. They're very spoiled, but can't cultivate to higher cultivation states, so they dominate the Black Rock City. If I was there, I wouldn't be able to resist the urge to kill those bastards." "Brother D, have you never been in the Black Rock City?" Yi Mo asked in shock. He had the Golden Page world, and thus could survive here. Di Shueming didn't have that. Di Shueming smiled. "I've been living here for a few hundred years. My body refinement has reached monarch state, so I'm fine. Now I realize why you're fine in here as a truth realization state level 1. You're a body refinement cultivator too, and you've reached the king state. This is quite good." Yi Mo asked in confusion, "Brother Di, are there a lot of body refinement cultivators in the Black Rock City?" Yi Mo thought it was very substantial that he reached king state in body refinement cultivation. Di Shueming nodded. "This void fissure has no other benefits but providing a good body refinement environment. Almost all Black Rock City cultivators would come here for body refinement. Even the weakest truth realization state cultivator in Black Rock City can reach the hollow state. There's tens or even 100 of monarch states. As for the Hades City Lord, I suspect he has reached the God state. No wonder that guy is this fast. They're all body refinement masters." Yi Mo sighed. Di Shueming shook his head. "They can chase up to you not because they're body refinement masters, but because you've been leaving marks on the way. They can easily catch up to you." "I was very careful and didn't leave any marks," Yi Mo said in confusion. Di Shueming said, "That's because you've just come here and you don't know the things here. The chaos flow, sand, and wind blades have a certain rule to their density. When you run, you definitely choose places with less chaos flow and wind blades, and the places you go past will have a faint mark. These marks won't disappear for a long time, and they can track you with that." Hearing this, Yi Mo's back was sweating cold. He didn't know the situation here. If Di Shueming didn't teach him this, he would have been surrounded and killed. Di Shueming continued, "I took you on the path that won't leave marks. These paths would have denser chaos flow or sand, and thus the marks would be instantly washed away. After a while we can escape their tracking. But the Black Rock City Lord is different. His spirit sense is very powerful, so we had to run a second time. Yi Mo saluted with his fists to Di Shueming. Thank you, Brother Di, for saving my life. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know why I was killed. Did you offend the Black Hades too? Di Shueming shook his head. I didn't offend him. I offended a woman, a very beautiful woman. Di Shueming said the most powerful cultivator in the city is called Black Hades Suwa Anshan. The most beautiful woman is Su Qingfei, the wife of a vice city, Lord Shirtaa. She seems very conservative on the surface, but is secretly having an affair with the city lord Suwa Anshan. Seeing this, I didn't really care, but this woman stopped my many times wanting to have sex with me. How can I accept a shameless woman like her? I rejected her many times. One time, I was really annoyed, and I cursed at her. Due to this, I completely offended her and couldn't survive in the city. But due to that, my body refinement reached monarch state. Yi Mo was in disbelief. Su Qingfei was the #1 beauty of the city. How can she be interested in the black and skinny Di Shueming? Di Shueming was a little annoyed being stared at like that by Yi Mo. Do you think I'm old, dark, and skinny, so no women would like me? I'll telling you the truth. If I was interested in that woman, I would have fucked her already. Pity. I hate such shameless woman the most. Yi Mo sighed, but that vice city lord isn't having a good time. Then Di Shueming sneered. You think he doesn't know? He knows. There are some things I don't want to know, but I happen to know. Shirtaa is just as bleak as Black Hades. If I'm right, Princess Chuan isn't his daughter. It's Black Hades' daughter. Shirtaa knows this, but he doesn't stop Suwa Yu and Princess Chuan being together. Yi Mo was speechless. This Black Rock City was too disgusting. Di Shueming pointed at the dark red whirlpool ahead and said, That's the place I reached monarch state. If you want, you can go in there to cultivate. Yi Mo shook his head. I can't go in there to cultivate yet. Plus, what I want to do the most isn't to reach monarch state, but to leave this void fissure. I must leave. I can't stay here. Di Shueming looked at Yi Mo in contempt. Yi Mo, who doesn't want to leave here, but no one has even been able to leave. So, I suggest you to give up. Yi Mo said firmly. I have to leave here no matter at what cost. Sensing Yi Mo's resolution, Di Shueming didn't scorn at him and fell silent for a long time. If you have to leave, there's one way, but there's a 99% chance you will die. Oh, Black, tell me, where is it? Yi Mo grabbed Di Shueming in joy. Di Shueming patted Yi Mo's shoulder. Yi Mo, it's not that I'm underestimating you, but with your current power, you probably won't live at all. If you don't reach the 3 God states, it's pointless to tell you anyways. Di Shueming said again, Don't worry, I have a place, and you can come with me to practice body refinement. I can assure you to reach 3 God state in a short time. Before Yi Mo can reply, a bleak voice said, Pity, you guys won't have that opportunity. A bleak-faced, middle-aged man came before them. Suwa Anshan, Di Shueming called out in shock and said to Yi Mo, you're going to kill me. However, he released a dark yellow magic artifact. It was a huge seal. Yi Mo watched the Suwa Anshan. He seemed to be truth realization state peak stage, but when Yi Mo watched closely, it wasn't just truth realization state peak stage. But Yi Mo couldn't tell exactly what he was. Yi Mo released Zisu without hesitation. Seeing this, Suwa Anshan was so furious he laughed. Ha, you have balls. It's been some time since I saw someone who dares to use magic artifact in front of me. Di Shueming didn't answer, but his yellow seal already smashed down. When it was first released, it was only the size of a but when it appeared above Suwa Anshan's head, it grew into a large yellow halo. Di Shueming didn't answer, but his yellow seal already smashed down. When it was first released, It was only the size of a duck, but when it appeared above Suo Anshan's head, it grew into a large yellow halo. Despite just being a halo, it gave people the feeling of being extremely heavy. Yi Mo suspected that if it landed, even a truth realization state peak stage cultivator would be smashed into pulp. Meanwhile, Suo Anshan didn't use any magic artifact and just grabbed at the seal with his hand. Before his hand even touched the seal slowed down until it stopped completely. So powerful. Yi Mo wasn't at Suo Anshan's power level, but he had keen eyes. Suo Anshan's domain had reached a level of extreme mastery. He didn't even need to intentionally use it. Any target he wanted to attack would be affected by his domain and slowed down. Di Shueming was using his seal at full power. He wanted to self-destruct his magic artifact while Suo Anshan attacked it. He knew Suo Anshan's power. If he didn't give up his seal, he and Yi Mo wouldn't have any opportunity to run. As for Yi Mo, Di Shueming didn't expect him to be able to help at all. A truth realization state, level 1, might be able to get away from some other truth realization state peak stage if he was smart, have had some ability, but that truth realization state peak stage definitely didn't include Suo Anshan. He was beyond truth realization state peak stage. No truth realization state peak stage can get an advantage over him. So, Di Shueming had intended to self-destruct his most precious magic artifact right from the beginning. No matter how precious magic artifact was, it wasn't as precious as life. When he ran, if Yi Mo was smart, he would be able to get away. If Yi Mo wasn't smart, there was nothing he could do. He would have to leave first, as the opportunity would slip away quickly. But at this moment, Di Shueming's face changed. Before his seal was fully activated, it was bound by Suo Anshan's cultivation essence or domain. He can't even take it back, much less self-destruct it. Despite taking Suo Anshan very seriously, Suo Anshan was still far stronger than Di Shueming expected. He was weaker than a disaster transformation state to Suo Anshan. The moment the two fought, Yi Mo knew that he and Di Shueming combined was no match for Suo Anshan. This person was beyond truth realization state peak stage. So the moment Di Shueming's seal was stuck, Yi Mo attacked with Sisu, Illusion Cloud Domain Shatter Strike. Yi Mo's domain was very powerful already, but he knew that his domain was nothing compared to Suo Anshan. There was nothing else Yi Mo could help with other than Illusion Cloud Domain Shatter Strike. Insect. Suo Anshan saw Yi Mo attack his fist with a purple kitchen knife and sneered. He could tell this knife was quite substantial, but it wasn't enough to deal with him. Di Shueming shook his head speechlessly too. He tried to underestimate Yi Mo, but he realized he still overestimated him. Was he trying to give Suo Anshan a scratch this way? But moments alter. Di Shueming's eyes bulged, not daring to believe what he saw. The knife was at most a purple ray, but when it expanded out, it turned into a purple beam tree that emitted countless purple sword rays from it. What sword technique was this? Di Shueming looked at the purple beam that his spirit sense couldn't scan into. Suo Anshan was a little surprised, but before he could react, they all heard a crack. Di Shueming felt the pressure on his seal ease and rejoiced. He just realized that Yi Mo's strike broke open Suo Anshan's domain. Then he inserted more cultivation essence into the seal, smashing down at Suo Anshan. He wanted to fight Suo Anshan with Yi Mo. The purple sword rays soon dissipated, and only Zisu was left. Yi Mo's heart sunk. This was one of his strongest illusion cloud moves. Usually, after breaking the domain, it would automatically turn into another illusion cloud move. But after he broke the domain, it dissipated. He used his move at full power, while Suo Anshan's domain was just used very casually. Suo Anshan was furious that this Di Shueming dared to keep attacking him. He waved, and 12 aqua beads were thrown out, and his power rose drastically. Ripples were seen in the air. Di Shueming and Yi Mo were trapped by these ripples and could barely breathe. Di Shueming and Yimo's face went really bad. They just realized this was Suwa Anshan's real domain. Ordinary cultivators can't even move in this. Such a powerful domain. The 12 beads formed a semicircle, and immediately countless lightning arcs were released. However, they didn't attack Yimo and Di Shueming. Instead, they circulated around the 12 beads. The more they did so, the bigger the beads grew until they were basket-sized and were still growing larger. Di Shueming's face changed again. His seal was bound again, and much firmer than before. He finally realized why Suwa Anshan was able to become the city lord amidst the countless truth realization state peak stage cultivators in the Black Rock City. The 12 beads howled, and moments later formed a whirlpool each. These whirlpools soon connected together, encompassing Yimo and Di Shueming. If the lightning whirlpool exploded, they would be turned to dust. Yimo's heart sunk. He found that together with Di Shueming, they can't even beat half a Suwa Anshan. He was too powerful. The only thing they could do was hack open his domain and run away. This bastard is a lightning-style cultivator, and he's this powerful. No wonder no one dares to defy him in the Black Rock City. Di Shueming cursed. Yimo expanded his domain, but didn't dare to fully activate it. He knew this wasn't Suwa Anshan's full power, not even half. He probably wanted to take them back alive. If Suwa Anshan knew his domain was in great completion and he could break free, then Suwa Anshan might attack with full power. He would have to try to escape before Suwa Anshan knew all of his cards. Yimo said quietly, "He isn't a lightning element cultivator. His 12 beads are strange. It can be used to activate lightning element attacks, and I'm certain there was a lot of people against him in the Black Rock City, but he killed them all," which truth realization state peak stage didn't have their own pride. No matter how powerful Suwa Anshan was, he couldn't have controlled the entire Black Rock City at the start. Di Shueming nodded. "I know this, but how do you know he isn't lightning element cultivator?" Yimo didn't answer. He was lightning element cultivator too. He wanted to rob these 12 lightning orbs and give it to Yimo in the future. Just when Di Shueming wanted to keep talking, he suddenly felt his body ease up. He immediately saw an invisible circle expand out from Yimo. He checked with his spirit sense and immediately realized this was Yimo's domain. His face was full of shock. He finally realized why Yimo could survive in the Void Fissure. Not only was his body refinement in king state, but his power was no weaker than him. Yimo was only truth realization state level 1, and he was this strong. He finally realized why Yimo could survive in the Void Fissure. Not only was his body refinement in king state, but his power was no weaker than him. Yimo was only truth realization state level 1, and he was this strong. Thinking about Yimo's strike before, Di Shueming was disappointed to realize that if he fought with Yimo, he probably was no match for him. Di Shueming didn't know that this wasn't all of his means, at most 1/3. Although they could move now, it was impossible to release their magic artifact as the region Yimo broke open was too little. Suwa Anshan immediately noticed his domain being opened. The reason he hasn't used a lethal blow was, as Yimo thought, he wanted Yimo alive and then torture him slowly. Although Yimo wasn't able to knock away his domain, but just being able to break free from his domain was very substantial. Just when Suwa Anshan wanted to use other means, he suddenly saw a dark green shadow fly past in the dark red space. Just when it was about to leave, it was stopped by a wind blade whirlpool, and it began to struggle. Void life, force marrow. Di Shueming and Suwa Anshan called out at the same time. Void life force marrow could be the most valuable spirit item Yimo had seen other than bitter bamboo. But, of course, comparing bitter bamboo with void life force marrow was lowering bitter bamboo's status. Void life force marrow wasn't worth 1/100000th of bitter bamboo. Void life force marrow grew in the void. The deeper the color, the more precious it was. This void life, force marrow, was green. Its value was immeasurable. Ordinary cultivators who ate void life, force marrow, could live 100,000 years longer. Of course, there was no cultivator dumb enough to eat it straight away. They would usually concoct it into pills. The other use of it was to truly grow flesh from bones. Most spirit herbs in the world could only save someone with an essence spirit left, but the void life, force marrow, could save someone who didn't have an essence spirit. It could allow someone to grow a new essence spirit and recover his past memories and abilities. But only void life force marrow that reaches purple color can do this. Seeing this, Yi Mo immediately thought of Nye Shuangxuan. But Yi Mo also realized that it was impossible for him to get it, as Suwa Anshan already saw it. He didn't even know if he could escape from Suwa Anshan, much less rob this void life, force marrow. Seeing the void life, force marrow, Suwa Anshan's eyes lit up. He thought of his son. If there was this, he might be saved. Its quality was a little low, but it was better than nothing. Plus, it was such a large piece. Suwa Anshan glanced at Yi Mo and Di Shueming, whom he trapped, and didn't go up to take the void life, force marrow. He shot out tens of faint blue flames surrounding the 12 lightning beads. This meant that even if Yi Mo and Di Shueming broke free from Suwa Anshan's domain and 12 lightning beads, they wouldn't be able to escape the blue flames. Seeing this, Di Shueming's face looked pale, and he murmured, "Prison of Heaven Flame, I forgot this bastard had Li Ming Flame." Yi Mo's eyes narrowed. Prison of Heaven Flame clearly was just a way of using Heaven Flame, trapping someone inside. There was no other way of escape other than charging through the Heaven Flame. But the Heaven Flame was blue color that would be suicide. Of course, Yi Mo wasn't afraid of this. He had a way to escape. It was simple. Burn open the fire with the more higher caliber Mist Lotus Heart Fire. The Heaven Flame prison was powerful, but it was just a method of using Heaven Flame. It was much weaker than his Heaven Flame 9 Suns. But he couldn't use the Heaven Flame 9 Suns well enough. If he could release 3 purple suns, Suwa Anshan could only wait to be melted. Yi Mo rejoiced that his Heaven Flame was also blue color and much higher ranked than Suwa Anshan's flame. Otherwise, he would be in trouble. If he was willing, he could also use Mist Lotus Heartfire to trap someone, but he felt pity he could only at most take Suwa Anshan's 12 lightning orbs after breaking free of his domain. He wouldn't have the time to take Suwa Anshan's Heaven Flame, as he would be back already. What do we do? Di Shueming was almost in despair seeing the Heaven Flame prison. Yi Mo didn't answer Di Shueming. He didn't want Suwa Anshan to be wary of him. Hearing this, Suwa Anshan sneered and left for the Void Life Force Marrow without even looking at Yi Mo and Di Shueming. Yi Mo's sound transmission to Di Shueming, "Old Black, follow me closely. We'll run now." Di Shueming really wanted to ask where could they run to in the Heaven Flame prison, but he knew regardless they would die. Instead of being captured and tortured, he might as well die to the Heaven Flame. So he smiled bitterly. Let's break free from his domain, and the 12 lightning orbs first. But Di Shueming stopped. He suddenly felt Yi Mo's power rise, and at the same time expanded his domain out that was many times stronger than before. He didn't expect Yi Mo was this powerful, daring to conserve power in front of Suwa Anshan. At the same time, Yi Mo released Illusion Cloud Domain Shatterstrike again. The purple ray extended 100 meters long and sliced open a way out. Crack! They could leave now. Di Shueming rejoiced and took back his seal, but at the same time he remembered the 12 lightning beads. They only broke open the first barricade, the simplest one, but then he immediately saw Yi Mo charge towards the 12 lightning beads, as though he wanted to steal it. "He's crazy," Di Shueming murmured, and looked at Yi Mo. Suwa Anshan instantly noticed his domain being broken, but he didn't even look at Yi Mo. he was prepared that Yemo was able to break open his domain. But he believed that no matter how strong Yemo was a mere truth realization state, level 1 wasn't able to break free from the 12 lightning orbs. Di Shueming soon found that Yemo already grabbed one of the lightning orbs. All of the lightning arcs on the surface instantly went inside Yemo's body. What shook him even more was that it disappeared, and Yemo was completely fine. Di Shueming soon found that Yemo already grabbed one of the lightning orbs. All of the lightning arcs on the surface instantly went inside Yemo's body. What shook him even more was that it disappeared, and Yemo was completely fine. How does he do it? Di Shueming murmured to himself. These lightning orbs have already formed a formation. Each orb was equivalent to a formation flag. These formation flag equivalents were extremely powerful, and it wasn't possible to grab it just with power. Because if you grabbed one, you wouldn't be just grabbing one lightning orb. You would be attacked by all 12 lightning orbs. No matter how powerful you were, you can't grab one lightning orb and make the other ones not attack you. The only possibility was that the person doing this was a formation grandmaster, or even higher. Plus, even a formation grandmaster wouldn't be able to defend against the lightning source attack from one of the orbs. There was so much lightning circulating the surface of the orbs. Yet, Yemo did it. Before Di Shueming could react, Yemo took away all the other 11 lighting orbs into the Golden Page world and locked them with a simple restriction. How dare you? Suo Anshan was furious. If it wasn't that he already controlled the Void Life Force Marrow, he would be coming over to teach Yemo a lesson. The Void Life Force Marrow wasn't so easily controlled. It had its own will, and one mistake, it would disappear into the void. So he didn't dare to leave before completely capturing it. The main thing was that he believed even if Yemo broke free from his domain and took his 12 lightning orbs, he wouldn't be able to escape from the Heaven Flame prison. Even a powerful cultivator would need a few days, or even a month, to break free. He only needed about half a minute, and he would be able to completely control the Void Life Force Marrow and free himself to deal with these insolent brats. Quickly go. Suo Anshan is about to control the Void Life Force Marrow. Di Shueming suddenly stopped, and his face was full of despair. He forgot about the Heaven Flame prison due to Yemo's magnificent show. He immediately realized that they still weren't able to break free. Yemo was watching Suo Anshan the whole time. Seeing that Suo Anshan didn't come over immediately, Yemo sneered, "That old thing still needs a few seconds. We have enough time." Then Yemo waved out a blue flame with his hands. The flame burned onto the Heaven Flame that stopped them. Blue mist lotus heart fire. Di Shueming looked at this in shock. Yemo's Heaven Flame clashed with the Heaven Flame prison, creating a sizzling sound. 3 seconds later, they burned a huge crack in the Heaven Flame prison. Before Di Shueming could say anything, Yemo said, "Let's go." Di Shueming didn't need Yemo to tell him now. The two sped up and immediately disappeared. Even in the Void Fissure, they raised their speed to the extreme. Even being swooped away by void dangers was better than falling into the hands of Suo Anshan. The instant the two escaped, Suo Anshan knew, and he was so angry he almost spat blood. "I'm going to tear you apart." Suo Anshan put away the Void Life Force Marrow but wasn't happy at all. He was angry to the extreme. The two insects ran, and that Truth Realization State Level 1 insect took his 12 lightning orbs. Suo Anshan put away his Heaven Flame, but there was no sign of Yemo and Di Shueming in his spirit sense. The Void Fissure limited spirit sense greatly, and even without the limit, he wouldn't be able to sense them after this long. But looking at the direction they ran, Suo Anshan sneered. These two were too inexperienced. He had already marked the 12 lightning orbs with his spirit sense. No matter how far they were, he could sense Yemo's direction based on it. No one could remove his spirit sense mark in such a short time. Even the most powerful cultivator would need at least a day, so he wasn't worried that Yi Mo got away at all. But when he extended his will, his face changed dramatically. He found that he couldn't sense the direction of his 12 lightning orbs at all. While running, Di Shueming was still shook at Yi Mo's endless means and his bravery to steal the 12 lightning orbs. Just how much balls did Yi Mo have? After a few thousand kilometers, Di Shueming said desperately to Yi Mo, quickly throw those 12 lightning orbs away. I know it's good, but it's marked with Suo Anshan's print. He might be able to chase up to us based on that. Yi Mo smiled. Even if he comes, I won't throw it away. If Brother Di is worried, you can leave first. Di Shueming's face sunk. Who do you think I am? Even you don't fear that Suo Anshan. I'm an immortal ascension cultivator. How can I be afraid? Yi Mo didn't expose Di Shueming, but regardless, he was good enough to be a friend. What shook Di Shueming was that they had been running for nearly 10 days, but there was still no sign of Suo Anshan. This isn't right, Di Shueming murmured to himself. And then he said, Yi Mo, where did you put the lightning orbs at? There's no reason that Suo Anshan didn't chase up, take it out, and see. Of course, Yi Mo wasn't going to take it out. If he took it out now, it was telling Suo Anshan where they were. So he shook his head without hesitation. Seeing this, Di Shueming didn't say anything. After all, they just met for a short time. Where is this place? Yi Mo looked at the densely clustered space ripples and lines. Is this where I practiced body refinement before? The center of a void storm is ahead. I've tried breaking through to disaster state before, but I failed many times. Di Shueming pointed at this place and said. Then Di Shueming sighed. Without high-level supplementary spirit herb, I'm probably stuck in monarch state. I've used up the spirit herb I had before. I don't even have a level 1 spirit herb now. Supplementary spirit herb? Yi Mo asked in confusion. He had never used some spirit herb from 1 to 6th state. Seeing this, Di Shueming asked with more confusion. Body refinement needs large amounts of supplementary spirit herb. Did you reach king state without using spirit herb? If so, you probably would have died countless times. Yi Mo didn't suspect Di Shueming's words. The reason he recovered perfectly each time after sustaining such injuries was due to the 3-birth chant. I took some pills. Yi Mo could only say. Di Shueming nodded. Body refinement is actually completely different to cultivation. If possible, just use spirit herb pills directly. It's much better than using pills. Su magic artifact, sword grass, blue blood are all great body refinement herbs. Of course, the best is high-level spirit beast blood. If there's a level 11 untransformed spirit beast, its blood would be the best. Yi Mo thought, what about the tens of drops of Koan blood he got? Thinking about this, Yi Mo immediately asked, what about God Beast blood? Di Shueming laughed. God Beast. Ha! That's of the legends. If you really have it, I'll only need 1 drop, no half a drop, and I can reach disaster state, and you can reach monarch state without any problems. Then Di Shueming looked at the jade bottle that suddenly appeared in Yi Mo's hands. Don't tell me you have God Beast blood in the jade bottle. Then Di Shueming looked at the jade bottle that suddenly appeared in Yi Mo's hands. Don't tell me you have God Beast blood in the jade bottle. Yi Mo smiled and took out a smaller bottle dripping 1 drop inside and gave it to Di Shueming. You guessed it, this is God Beast Koan's blood. I'll give you 1 drop for you to reach disaster state. After dazing for a long time, Di Shueming took the bottle and sniffed it. Then he looked at Yi Mo in shock. It really is God Beast Koan's blood. How can you get the blood of such a royal God Beast? Yi Mo smiled. I'll be honest with you. That God Beast Koan is inside here too. Even Suo Anshan is probably not enough for a few casual claws from him. You need to be careful using its blood for body refinement. Di Shueming took a cold breath in. I find that the longer I stay with you, the more I don't get you. You can even get God Beast Kuin's blood and steal 12 lightning orbs from Suo Anshan. I really don't know what you don't dare to do. Yi Mo smiled. Go practice body refinement. I will do so as well. We'll talk later. Then you take me to the tunnel that can leave this place. Yi Mo threw Di Shueming a communication bead. Di Shueming took it and nodded seriously. Okay, after you reach 3 God states, I will take you over. He knew that Yi Mo wasn't going to give up, no matter what, so he might spirit artifact. Well, go help him. Then he said the God Beast blood should be used based on power. With our power, we should only use half a drop. Using more is a waste. But if you digest the blood, there won't be any marks. Even if God Beast Kuin stood before you, he wouldn't know. Okay, thank you. Yi Mo saluted with his fists and turned into the endless space lines. Seeing this, Di Shueming murmured, there's actually such person in the word. He can even get Kuin's blood, but give it out casually. Di Shueming changed a direction and disappeared. He wanted to break through into disaster state immediately. Yi Mo was very fast and left this place. He came next to a space wind blade whirlpool. He didn't jump in immediately. He came here not to body refinement, but to spirit control the 12 lightning orbs. He needed to go into the Golden Page world to do that, and it wasn't convenient to stay with Di Shueming. Yi Mo just into the space wind blade whirlpool and went straight into the Golden Page world. In the Golden Page world, Yi Mo picked up the 12 lightning beads. The 12 lightning orbs were quickly thrown into the Golden Page world, and they still had lightning circulating around them. In order to quickly spirit control these 12 orbs, Yi Mo spat out essence blood. After the orbs were immersed in Yi Mo's essence blood, they were quickly spirit controlled. As Yi Mo kept spirit controlling more lightning orbs, the lightning arcs gradually disappeared from the surface of the lightning orbs. The 12 lightning orbs returned to Longan-sized, and their color went from a dull blue to an aqua color. The 12 beads were very pretty. After spirit controlling them, Yi Mo realized that they weren't called lightning orbs, but lightning sea magical orbs. There were supposed to be 36 orbs altogether, and Suo Anshan only got 12. If there were 24 orbs, its power would increase countless folds, and when all 36 were gathered, there would be heaven-shattering power. This is a good thing indeed. Yi Mo sighed after spirit controlling these 12 orbs. He put the lightning sea magical orbs away. No matter if he could find the remaining 24, he was planning to give these 12 to Yi Mo as a present. As soon as Yi Mo was done, Suo Anshan, who was still searching for Yi Mo, and Di Shueming sapped blood in the air. This was because he was so angry that Yi Mo actually spirit controlled his 12 LSM. How could he tolerate such insult? But he had to. Yi Mo wasn't going to care about what Suo Anshan felt. That had nothing to do with him. He came out of the Golden Page world now and left this wind blade whirlpool. It could help him reach King State, but it wasn't enough for him to reach Monarch State. Yi Mo wanted to go to the center of the space storm. He wanted to test if the Kuin blood really had that much benefit for body refinement. In the Void Fissure, there were countless space storms. The smaller ones were space string whirlpools. The larger ones were space sand and line whirlpools mixed together. There were some space sand, wind blades, chaos flow, and fissures mixed together. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't even be able to last long, even if they were truth realization state peak stage there. Yi Mo found a middle-grade space storm and took out a drop of Kuin blade and ate it. He had a lot of it, so he didn't need to listen to Di Shueming. He just ate one and had decided that he would go into this Golden Page world immediately if there was any danger. As soon as he drank it, Yi Mo felt his organs were going to be torn apart. Moments later, his skin went red. Yi Mo wanted to cut himself with a sword right now. Yi Mo was shook and jump into the storm. He finally realized why Di Shuiming told him to use half. This terrifying, explosive power would have torn his organs apart if he wasn't King State Body Refinement. One could see that the Kuan beast would be fine as long as he didn't get caught in the scariest space disposition. Yi Mo's armor and clothes were instantly torn apart when he came into the storm. The countless wind blades, sand, and lines ravaged on his body. Yi Mo felt that the instant his skin was torn, they grew back out again rapidly. Yi Mo finally understood the use of the Kuan blood and didn't dare to waste time at all. He used the 3-birth chant and 3-God body refinement chant together. In a short while, he reached a state of self-unawareness. With the help of the Kuan blood, his skin and every part of his bone and muscle were being reorganized. 3 days later, there was gurgling sounds when his cultivation essence flowed. A week later, Yi Mo's cultivation essence stored to a breaking point and finally exploded in his body. Then, in a heavy thud, the rustling sound broke the stopping barrier and cultivation essence flowed freely. Yi Mo felt easy, and that instant the scorching and tearing sensation disappeared. The space storm was like a tickle to him now. Yi Mo howled. He knew that he not only reached the monarch state of the 3 God states, and he also break through to truth realization state level 2. This was the first time he broke through without using time formation disk, truth realization state level 2, and monarch state body refinement. Yi Mo knew that even in the Black Rock City, his power was ranked ahead. After changing a set of clothes, Yi Mo casually walked around the center of the space storm. In a short time, he walked everywhere in this storm that would have easily killed him before. Now, Yi Mo felt his power. He exclaimed, this void fissure was indeed an extremely good place for body refinement. Yi Mo was still in disbelief at the power of the Kuan blood, making him reach monarch state in 10 days. Yi Mo didn't contact Di Shuiming. He didn't know if he reached disaster state now, but he needed to reach that state. The tunnel of escape Di Shuiming told him about was extremely dangerous. He had to bring his body refinement to the extreme. Black Rock City. There were tens of truth realization state peak stage cultivators at the door. Suo Anshan's face was sullen. The 2 beautiful women next to him were sobbing. Clearly the void life, force, Morrow, wasn't high level enough, and thus was useless. Where is Vice City Lordshire? Suo Anshan asked coldly. The younger beautiful woman behind Suo Anshan bowed and said in a sad and soft voice, Shirtie went into the void, Fisher alone to get revenge for Chuan. The younger beautiful woman behind Suo Anshan bowed and said in a sad and soft voice, Shirtie went into the void, Fisher alone to get revenge for Chuan. Suo Anshan sneered, but said to the tens of truth realization state peak stage cultivators here, even if I flip over this void region, I'm going to find that insect. Yi Mo appeared in an even more violent space storm center. He wanted to reach disaster state here, but he knew that it wouldn't be so easy. He wasn't sure how much time he would need, but he wasn't sure if someone would come over while he was cultivating. In order to avoid being ambushed, Yi Mo spent a day to set up a level 9 space 9 illusions attack formation. This formation was based on his understanding of the space seal at Sand River and his illusion cloud. Other than him, no formation grandmaster would be able to see through it quickly. This attack formation was hidden into the void. He learnt this from the ice god, Forbidden Grounds. Yi Mo believed that there wouldn't be a lot of formation grandmaster who knew this. The only problem was spirit source, but this was the center of the space storm. There was very dense spirit chi. Yi Mo set up tens of extreme grade spirit stones, and then the formation was erected. However, after reaching monarch state, Yi Mo found that he could defend against the space storm easily. Was he already developing resistance? Yi Mo was speechless. He only used 1 drop of Kuan blood, and now there was resistance. So, When one drop didn't work, he immediately ate a second drop. After 4 drops, Yemo felt he was still at the tertiary stage of monarch state. Being used to the speed of cultivation, Yemo couldn't tolerate such slow speed, so he ate 10 drops at once. With this, Yemo immediately felt that terrifying scorching heat in his body. Strange spirit power ran rampant in his body. It was as though next moment he would turn to dust. It was useful. Yemo was happy and used 3 birth chant, as well as 3 God body refinement chant. At the same time, he started moving towards the center of the whirlpool. As he used his cultivation method, the scorching sensation was weakening and his skin was repairing faster. The meridians were being reorganized again and again. Even his blood started to change. It flowed very fast, and even after loss of blood, his wounds would immediately heal instantly without the use of pills or cultivation method. The space storm now was like a soft breeze on his body. It couldn't bring about any more gashes on his body. Yemo knew that he barely reached disaster state primary stage now. But he also knew that even if he used up all his Kuan blood, he wouldn't be able to reach God state. He might have a chance if we went into space disposition river, but Yemo wasn't going to do this. He can risk his life for cultivation, but he won't go suicide. In those places, he might not even get the chance to enter the golden page world. Unless he was truth realization state peak stage, then he would try. It was time to look for Di Shueming and let him take him to the tunnel that he could leave through. As soon as Yemo got out of the space whirlpool, he saw there was a man waiting outside. He was extremely handsome, seeming very heroic and brave. Just with his looks, he would have countless women fall for him. If this person cared a little more about the way he dressed, he would definitely get more attention. This man had such a heroic and manly look, but he wore a red flowery robe. Thus, his good looks were turned wrong with this incoherent dress. Yemo wasn't shook at this person's looks, but how he stayed outside for so long. He only noticed when he came out. This person was also truth realization state peak stage. If this person ambushed him when he came up, he would be injured. But of course, this was if he didn't set up the attack formation. Thinking about this, Yemo rejoiced for setting up the attack formation. He wasn't afraid at all if this person attacked. He really couldn't think he was in a place no one could find. He had only been here for a short while some cultivators were here for a few thousand years. The places he thought were obscure probably weren't to those cultivators. Seeing Yemo come out of the space storm safely, this cultivator was a little shook but nodded. Although your truth realization state level 1, your body refinement is at disaster state. This is very amazing. And you escaped from Suwa Anshan and took his 12 lightning orbs. Outstanding. Yemo looked calm, but he wasn't calm on the inside. Who was this person? How did he know? He didn't think Suwa Anshan would tell everyone he lost his 12 lightning orbs. Either this person was very close to Suwa Anshan, or he was watching Suwa Anshan's every move. Seeing that Yemo was calm but wary, the handsome man smiled. Don't worry, I have no ill will. My name is Yang Feijing. Of course I have another name, Shirtaa. Yemo was shook. He knew Shirtaa, the Vice City Lord of Black Rock City. Seeing Yemo's bewildered expression, he laughed at himself. Do you think it's strange I have 2 names? But if you stayed at Black Rock City for a long time, perhaps you would know. It was probably Di Shueming who told you my name, right? Perhaps he would say I'm being cheated on, right? Yemo didn't expect this Shirtaa to be this blatant about this. But Yemo didn't know what Shirtaa meant. Clearly, he had conflict with Suwa Anshan, so he saluted with his fists. I'm Yemo, Great City Lord Shir. How you know I'm here? Shirtaa laughed. I don't know you're here, but I know Di Shueming would escape here because this is the place he thinks is the safest. I've known what he thought 100 years ago. After I knew you left with Di Shueming, I came here to wait for you. Hearing this, Yemo's heart sunk. If Shi Taa knew Di Shueming would come here, what about Suo Anshan? Yi Mo scanned with spirit sense immediately. Shi Taa smiled again. Brother, you don't worry. Only I know Di Shueming is here. I care about those friends kicked out of the Black Rock City by Suo Anshan, so I care about Di Shueming too. Other people wouldn't care about it. Yi Mo immediately knew what Shi Taa meant. Shi Taa's words showed that one day he wanted to join up with Di Shueming and them. So he knew a lot about Di Shueming, but Di Shueming didn't know it at all. Shi Taa also meant that he might be asking to form an alliance. He and Di Shueming wouldn't be able to reject it because they wouldn't be able to escape based on his knowledge of Di Shueming. Yi Mo sneered in his heart. Even though it was good to attack Suo Anshan together, he didn't like being threatened like this. Shi Taa said Di Shueming is a good man. That bitch tried to seduce him, but he ignored her. Yi Mo frowned. He wasn't interested in this drama, so he said coldly, City Lord Shi, if there's something you want to say, then say it. I'm busy, I don't have time to waste here. Shi Taa wasn't angry at all. He smiled. I admire you greatly for being able to escape Suo Anshan. Since you've fought with him, I suppose you know that you have no opportunity facing him. My purpose for finding you is simple. I want to join forces with you. Yi Mo sneered. City Lord Shi, I'm a mere truth realization state, primary stage cultivator. It was lucky that I escaped from Suo Anshan. You wouldn't think I can fight him head on, right? Shi Taa smiled. Of course I don't, but you're the most powerful truth realization state, primary stage, I've ever seen. If we join forces, I only want half of the things inside his storage ring. By the way, do you know how many good things there are in Suo Anshan's storage ring? Half of the immortal ascension cultivator's things are in his possession. With all the rare ores he had found all these years, you wouldn't even dare to imagine how wealthy he is. Yi Mo had really never thought of this, and now that Shi Taa said this, he thought. Clearly, those cultivators in the Void Fissure were all truth realization state cultivators, and were the elite of each cultivation realm. They clearly had the best things. If only 10% fell into Suo Anshan's hands, and he took half of that, it would be as wealthy as a state, much less half. Yi Mo had really never thought of this, and now that Shi Taa said this, he thought. Clearly, those cultivators in the Void Fissure were all truth realization state cultivators, and were the elite of each cultivation realm. They clearly had the best things. If only 10% fell into Suo Anshan's hands, and he took half of that, it would be as wealthy as a state, much less half. Seeing that Yi Mo was interested, Shi Taa said, plus, you think Suo Anshan really can't capture you? There are countless truth realization state cultivators in the city. If they were really going to search this entire place, one day you and Di Shueming would be caught. Yi Mo didn't argue with this. He knew Shi Taa was right. So he asked coldly, I really want to know, how did you know my location? And how did you find me so accurately? Shi Taa smiled and suddenly waved his hand, or fell into his hand, and he threw it to Yi Mo, because I have this. As soon as Yi Mo got it, he saw a surveillance formation inside. This formation restriction is very hidden, and if he didn't look closely, he wouldn't be able to see it at all. The ore was so low level, who would go check it in the Void Fissure? As soon as he got here, there was a surveillance formation. Yi Mo thought about how Shi Taa knew he took Suo Anshan's 12 lightning orbs, and was immediately shook he didn't. Seeing Yi Mo's shocked face, Shi Taa smiled. You're right. In these few centuries, I've set up countless surveillance ores in this Void Fissure. They let me know anything that happens in this void. Only I can pick it up and see the formation inside. Anyone else who picks it up, the ore will turn into an ordinary ore. So, no matter where you and Di Shueming escape to, I can find you. Then, there was pride in his eyes, because no one knows that I'm actually a level 9 formation Grand Master. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. This Shi Taa was really bleak. In a few hundred years, he did nothing but mark down formations. Clearly, he only had one goal, and that was to kill Suwa Anshan. Such a forbearing guy. Yi Mo subconsciously looked at Shirtaa. He couldn't tell that he really hated Suwa Anshan. Why did he do this? Yi Mo really wanted to annihilate Suwa Anshan so that after he left, Old Black would be safer. But he didn't lose his mind. He knew Suwa Anshan's power. He's definitely the most powerful cultivator he had ever seen. Shirtaa wasn't in a rush and was waiting for Yi Mo's answer. Yi Mo fell silent for a while before looking at him. I'm only a truth realization state level 2 cultivator. Old Black is not bad, but he's only an ordinary truth realization state peak stage. There are too many like him in the city. Why did you come to me? Shirtaa nodded. Good question, because you're the only one in the entire city who can help me. I'm a wood element cultivator. If Suwa Anshan doesn't have the Li Ming fire, I wouldn't be scared of him, but his heaven flame counters me. My magic is useless in front of him. Then Yi Mo looked at Shirtaa in disbelief. This means that if Suwa Anshan doesn't have Li Ming flame, you can be evenly matched with him. Shirtaa smiled pridefully. Even if we can't be evenly matched, he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. With my formation and your help, I believe that I can kill him. Although Yi Mo was beginning to believe him, he still asked City Lordshire, since you have formation means against Suwa Anshan, then no matter how powerful his heaven flame is, he wouldn't be able to do anything to you. Why did you wait till today? Shirtaa said heavily, I can fight him and trap him with formation, but I don't dare to take that risk. I only have this chance. If I lose it, I won't be able to rest in peace. Shirtaa's tone became agitated. He clenched his fists and said shakily, I, Yang Feijing, have to change my name to Shirtaa and not dare to use my name outside. I have to dress like a woman and not dare to do anything to my woman who cheats on me with Suwa Anshan. All for today. I will kill Suwa Anshan myself. I hate him. I hate him so much. I only have one chance, so I definitely can't lose it. Yi Mo looked at the agitated Shirtaa and felt sympathy. He even felt that this Shirtaa was more trustworthy. But considering how forbearing he was, Yi Mo would rather mess with Suwa Anshan than Shirtaa. Shirtaa calmed down after a long while and said apologies for the emotions. What do you think, Brother Yi? Yi Mo had a sudden feeling that it was all a show. Otherwise, how can he calm his emotions so easily? If this guy really acted that out, Yi Mo was sure he was better than an Oscar winner. Yi Mo agreed, in his heart already, because for him, if he didn't kill Suwa Anshan wouldn't let him go anyways. Shirtaa suddenly said again, Suwa Anshan sent out more than 100 truth realization state cultivators searching for you and used 2 level 10 spirit hounds to find you. Yi Mo knew Shirtaa said the truth. So he nodded, okay, I agree. I'll contact D. Shueming. As for how to set up the trap, you can do it. Shirtaa nodded. Okay, we will set up here. You've cultivated here for half a month. I'm certain that he can find here. He will first confirm how long you were cultivating here for. If he is certain that you've cultivated here for half a month, he won't suspect you. You just need to leave a little accidental clue, and I'm sure they would be able to find here in 3 days. Shirtaa continued, during these 3 days, I will set up a level 9 trap formation and a level 9 attack formation. Then Shirtaa hesitated and asked, by the way, how's your formation skills? Yi Mo nodded, it's not bad. I'm not level 6, but I'm a level 5 formation great master. If you tell me about your level 9 formation, I can help you control it. Shirtaa nodded, sure. Then Yi Mo contacted D. Shueming, but he didn't get a reply. Seeing this, Shirtaa said calmly, I really only need you. Otherwise, it's no use how many more come, as they wouldn't be able to stop Suwa Anshan's heaven flame. Yi Mo was shook. Taa had such confidence he didn't think he was bluffing. When Taa was setting up formation, Mo was watching on the side. Taa didn't mind. Seeing the formation flags Taa threw out, they were all made with extreme grade materials. Clearly, Taa had been preparing for them for a long time. Seeing this, Mo exclaimed, "Masters were really everywhere." Taa's formation skills were on par with him. He didn't have the ability to hide the formation flags in the void, but he could use the space whirlpools and wind blades to hide them. A day later, a hidden trap formation 6 cauldron formation and an attack formation, ringed immortal slaughter formation was set up. If Mo didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't be able to sense it in a short time. They weren't very rare formations, but there can be countless variations depending on the people controlling it. If he wasn't a level 9 formation grandmaster and didn't set up the 9 illusion attack formation, he wouldn't join forces with Taa, because going in the formation meant that his life would be controlled by Taa. Mo would never let someone else control his life. Then Taa said to Mo, "I can't come too closer or Suwa and Shan would notice. Don't worry, as soon as he comes I will help you." Mo felt there was some questionable things about this Taa, but he still nodded. "Okay, I'll lure Suwa and Shan here." He wasn't scared of Taa. He had his own formations. Mo wasn't afraid of Taa because his formation flags were hidden in the void. It was a level 9 formation he created himself too. Even if Taa was watching here, he might not be able to find it. Mo wasn't afraid of Taa because his formation flags were hidden in the void. It was a level 9 formation he created himself too. Even if Taa was watching here, he might not be able to find it. Plus, Taa set up his formation, normally meaning that Taa didn't notice his formation or didn't take it into consideration at all. After Taa left, Mo went into the Storm Center for body refinement again. At the same time, he told Di Shueming to not look for him. He was afraid that Di Shueming would crash into Suwa and Shan when he came. Taa told him to leave some marks, and Suwa and Shan would be able to find here in at most 3 days. But before the end of the second day, Suwa and Shan's people found where Mo was. It was 3 truth realization state cultivators. They immediately surrounded the Storm Center and sent out a message. In less than a day, Suwa and Shan brought 10 truth realization state cultivators over here. In order to not let Suwa and Shan know that he reached disaster state, he intentionally covered himself in wounds. Suwa and Shan, Mo didn't need to act and just immediately let out his power. Suwa and Shan looked at Mo coldly before trying to make himself sound calm. "You have balls. You stole my 12 lightning orbs and still dare to practice body refinement like nothing happened." Very well. Mo could tell that Suwa and Shan was trying to make himself calm, but he couldn't, so Mo added oil to fire. "Before I did this, I killed your son." Suwa and Shan's eyes were about to spew out flames. He stared at Mo, and after a few seconds he waved to the other truth realization state cultivators. "I'm going to shred him alive. This rat is very cunning. Seal off any space he can escape from. I won't allow him to escape from me again." Yes, the 13 truth realization state cultivators agreed. With them here, not even a fine sand could escape this place. But as soon as they said this, Suwa and Shan's face changed. He immediately crushed a communication bead. He looked coldly at the 13 cultivators, Huitsong and Wu Tian. "Stay. The rest of you gather my men and return to the city. I will capture this rat and come back immediately. All those who are involved in the coup must be killed." Other than the 2 cultivators who came first, the remaining 11 agreed and turned to leave. Seeing this, Mo knew it was caused by Taa. Clearly, he set up the coup. Just how long has this guy been waiting for this day? He was clearly used by Taa, but he had to use his full power. Mo knew that even without him, Suwa Anshan wouldn't be able to beat Shur Taa today. Theoretically, with Shur Taa's power, he should have long found an opportunity to attack Suwa Anshan. Why did he drag it on till today? Yi Mo definitely wouldn't believe it was purely because of this Li Ming fire. As soon as the 11 cultivators left, Suwa Anshan's power rose drastically, and even the space wind blades and sands were forced off by his power. Moments later, Yi Mo, who was more than 10 meters away from Suwa Anshan, found difficulty breathing. Such a powerful force, Yi Mo was shook. He just realized that Suwa Anshan didn't even use half his power last time. Rat, if I still let you escape from me today, I'm not Suwa Anshan. Suwa Anshan said word by word, as his force kept increasing. A cultivation essence force field whirlpool formed around him. It was as though being swooped in would result in defeat. A dark snake-like figure rose up next to him that grew larger and larger as it circulated around him. Yi Mo released Octagonal Cauldron without hesitation. Seeing this, Suwa Anshan was surprised and said, Great, great, you robbed quite some good things indeed. Not only do you have blue, mist, lotus heart fire, but also this extreme grade defense magic artifact. It's not a waste for me to hunt you personally for a month. Yi Mo was at a loss for words. Suwa Anshan was right. He really did rob the Octagonal Cauldron. Ha ha! Just when Suwa Anshan was about to attack, a laughter sounded. City Lord Suwa, who made you so angry? It's you? Shur Taa? Suwa Anshan stopped and looked coldly at him. Since when did Vice City Lord Shur have the courage to laugh in front of me? Did your balls get bigger after your daughter died? Shur Taa said calmly, I have no daughter, but I heard City Lord Suwa's daughter was killed, so I came to help. Suwa Anshan sneered. Vice City Lord Shur, such a big heart. You don't even want your daughter. Shur Taa said calmly, ever since I began cultivation, I severed off my genitals. How can I have a daughter? I didn't lie to you. I don't have a daughter. Humph. Suwa Anshan sneered. Then Shur Yuchuan isn't your daughter. Suwa Anshan's face suddenly changed, and he pointed at Shur Taa, saying shakily, You're saying Shur Yuchuan is my. Shur Taa laughed. Shur Yuchuan's last name is Shur, but there's so many people in the world with that surname just like Suwa. This isn't strange. Why does she have to be my daughter? If she changes to Suwa Yuchuan, then wouldn't she be City Lord Suwa's daughter? I also heard that Princess Chuan sleeps with young Master Suwa every night. Suwa Anshan could no longer resist the horror and fury in his heart. He splat blood on the spat, and his power roared, I'm going to eat you alive, Yang Feijing. The person he hated the most now wasn't Yi Mo, but this Vice City Lord Shur. Shur Taa threw out a few formation flags and smiled. City Lord Suwa still remembers my name. I'm quite honored. Before Suwa Anshan could even expand his domain, a truth realization state cultivator suddenly pulled out a 15 cultivation method black sword, but it flew towards Suwa Anshan. This was the truth realization state cultivator Suwa Anshan kept to help stop Yi Mo. The other truth realization state cultivator dazed. He clearly didn't expect his pal would ambush City Lord Suwa. Before he could react, the black sword had pierced Suwa Anshan's armor, injuring him. Suwa Anshan yelled and grabbed behind him. That truth realization state cultivator couldn't even resist and was grabbed at the head by Suwa Anshan. He spat multiple streams of blood, and Evna's essence spirit was crushed by the furious Suwa Anshan. Suwa Anshan threw, and that body turned into a bloody mist. Suwa Anshan's eyes were red, and said coldly to the other cultivator, Huatsong, Wu Tian ambushed me just then. Did you want to ambush me too? Speak. The other truth realization state, peak stage, cultivator said with a pale face, City Lord, I've been with him the whole time, but I've never wanted to ambush City Lord. I swear, if I want to ambush. Cold beams shot out of Suwa Anshan's eyes. I only trust dead people. Then The black snake materialized, forming a 10-meter-long black snake. It ate the other truth realization state without hesitation. Sure, TAA didn't move, and neither did Yi Mo. Sua Anshan calmed down after killing the two and waved his hand. He held the snake in his hand. Only now did Yi Mo see clearly that it wasn't some black snake, but a magic artifact, a snake-headed wand. Sure, TAA didn't move, and neither did Yi Mo. Sua Anshan calmed down after killing the two and waved his hand. He held the snake in his hand. Only now did Yi Mo see clearly that it wasn't some black snake, but a magic artifact, a snake-headed wand. This was the first time Yi Mo saw a magic artifact that could devour people. Sua Anshan looked coldly at Sure TAA and didn't move nor talk. Yi Mo was feeling threatened, not by Sua Anshan, but Sure TAA. This person was too scary. Without hesitation, Huizong and Wu Tian could find here because Sure TAA told Wu Tian. It wasn't hard to put a traitor next to Sua Anshan, nor make the traitor willing to die for him. The hardest was that he could predict Sua Anshan would keep Wu Tian. What calculations and means was this? Yi Mo's heart was cold. What would happen if he offended Sure TAA? Yi Mo soon got the answer. He would kill Sure TAA at all costs, or he wouldn't be able to sleep. You set up the coup in the city? Sua Anshan asked calmly. Yes. Sure TAA didn't seem satisfied at all. You know, Su Qingfei has been sleeping with me? Did you not have the ability to stop it, or not dare to? Sua Anshan asked calmly. Sure TAA shook his head this time. I won't answer that now. I will have to wait a bit first. Sua Anshan looked coldly at Sure TAA and said calmly, You think these arrangements can kill me for sure? Sure TAA smiled and threw out 2 more formation flags. Suddenly, the surroundings changed and they were completely secluded from the outside. Sure TAA then released a dark gray magic artifact and said, With these, yes, level 9 trap formation. Sua Anshan frowned. Sure TAA added, You're not completely correct, because there's also another level 9 attack formation. Sua Anshan's face changed. He finally understood why Sure TAA was so certain he would kill him. Yi Mo noticed the spear in Sure TAA's hand. He had seen this before. Insu used this one. It had the same chi and style. The only difference was the color. One was flaming red, and one was dull gray. Even if you trap me with formation, what can you do to me? Sua Anshan said, and his wand turned into a 50-meter-long snake charging toward Sure TAA. At the same time, he waved his hand, and a palm-sized mountain appeared above them. Moments later, it turned into a 300-meter-tall mountain. This was the first time Yi Mo saw someone turn a magic artifact into 300-meter-sized. That snake and mountain wasn't targeting him, but he was finding it difficult to breathe. Almost instantly, Yi Mo felt the clash between the two's domains. He was like a wavy boat amidst huge waves. When Yi Mo extended his domain, he knew that Sure TAA didn't lie. He really had the power to fight Sua Anshan head-on. Sure TAA looked at Yi Mo in surprise, seeing that Yi Mo didn't need him to take care of to survive. But then he took his eyes back and threw out a few formation flags. Meanwhile, his long spear pierced over like a comet. A huge explosion sounded that included the subtle whimpering of animals when the 2 magic artifacts clashed together. Gray cultivation essence and black shadows splashed everywhere. Even though Yi Mo was disaster state, he felt pain when the cultivation essence splashed on his body. Even so, Yi Mo didn't completely use his domain to block the splashing cultivation essences. At this moment, Sua Anshan's mountain smashed down and had sealed the space around Yi Mo and Sure TAA before it even landed. Yi Mo couldn't even turn his body, and his domain shattered under such terrifying weight immediately. Yi Mo sneered and with the use of his cultivation essence, his domain expanded out again. It seemed a little stronger than before, and Yi Mo regained freedom. Suo Anshan didn't say anything. He had seen Yimo's domain and knew he was preserving power. He attacked Shirtaa without hesitation. Of course Yi Mo was hiding his strength. This Shirtaa was too scary. He would rather fight Suo Anshan than join up with Shirtaa in this situation. Shirtaa didn't mind. He didn't urge Yi Mo to attack. Yi Mo was only truth realization state level 2, and being able to hold on under Suo Anshan's terrifying domain was quite substantial. Although he had seen Yimo's power, he wouldn't think that Yi Mo could fight with Suo Anshan. He even set the time he wanted Yi Mo to help. He just needed Yi Mo to help him for half a minute, and he can heavily injure Suo Anshan. Even if Yi Mo didn't help, he wasn't afraid of Suo Anshan. If he used all his means, Li Ming fire was a joke to him. Shirtaa raised his 2 hands, and countless vines birthed out of nowhere. They had all sorts of colors and thorns. When they first grew out, they were only the size of a thumb, but by the time the mountain collapsed, these vines were already the size of garbage bins. Seeing this, Yi Mo took a cold breath in. He was certain he was no match for Suo Anshan. Even if he reached truth realization state level 4, he would at most be able to escape from Suo Anshan. Yet, Sure Merchant Association was evenly matched with him, but still forbore to this day before making his move. Yi Mo knew he didn't have this forbearance of Shirtaa. He even suspected that the reason Shirtaa waited till this day wasn't due to the Li Ming flame, but something else. Suo Anshan dazed and sneered, "Young Feijing, you're really good at forbearance. You have such means, but you've waited till this day." Then, Suo Anshan spat out a blue light. When it irate to the peak of the mountain, it turned into an acre-sized blue fire cloud. When the fire reached the vines, there was a sizzling sound. There was a putrid smell, and the countless vines melted rapidly. Yi Mo, hurry up and attack. Shirtaa yelled. He didn't know why Yi Mo took so long. He thought Yi Mo would use Heaven Flame as soon as Suo Anshan used Li Ming Flame. But now his vines were about to be burned out, and Yi Mo still didn't use Heaven Flame. Okay. Yi Mo agreed, and released Mist Lotus Heart Fire. It turned into a blue fire cloud, and clashed with the Li Ming Flame, releasing a heavenly shattering sound. Suo Anshan's face changed. When the Mist Lotus Heart Fire really stopped his fire, he was shook. When Yi Mo ran before, he only used the Mist Lotus Heart Fire to burn a crack in the Li Ming Flame. He thought Yi Mo's spirit sense wasn't enough to take on Li Ming Flame. The mountain was still falling, but it slowed down, and the vines regrew rapidly. Seeing the power of the Mist Lotus Heart Fire, Shirtaa was shook and annoyed that Yi Mo reacted so slow. Otherwise, he didn't need to waste so much cultivation essence to grow more vines. Yi Mo seemed to not know what Shirtaa thought, and barely used Mist Lotus Heart Fire to stop the Li Ming Flame. However, sometimes he ran out of cultivation essence and spirit sense, creating some holes. Then, the Li Ming Flame would soon burn a part of the vines, and Shirtaa would have to keep using his cultivation essence to regrow the vines to stop the huge mountain. Yi Mo seemed to not know what Shirtaa thought, and barely used Mist Lotus Heart Fire to stop the Li Ming Flame. However, sometimes he ran out of cultivation essence and spirit sense, creating some holes. Then, the Li Ming Flame would soon burn a part of the vines, and Shirtaa would have to keep using his cultivation essence to regrow the vines to stop the huge mountain. Shirtaa was extremely furious. He didn't know if Yi Mo was doing this intentionally or really running out of cultivation essence. But seeing that Yi Mo kept eating pills, he believed Yi Mo was really running out of juice. After all, he was only a truth realization state level 2 cultivator. He may be lucky to get the mist Lotus Heartfire, but his cultivation essence stores were far weaker than a truth realization state peak stage cultivator. Sure, TAA wasn't expecting Yi Mo to be really able to stop the Li Ming flame. If Yi Mo could stop it for half a minute, he would be able to heavily injure Suo Anshan. So the instant Yi Mo stopped the Li Ming flame, Sure TAA threw out a few more formation fogs. Instantly, the gray space lit up, but soon they knew it once light but sword rays. Sure TAA activated his level 9 attack formation, ringed Immortal Slaughter formation. If a cultivator was hit by one of the sword rays or sword chi, the rest would follow like crazy. But Yi Mo knew this wasn't the most powerful part to this formation. The most powerful part was that if you didn't understand formation, you would eventually reach the center of the formation while dodging the attacks. There would be countless sword ray and sword chi hidden there. If someone goes in, they would instantly explode. Suo Anshan did know something about formation, and his face sunk seeing the activated sword ray and sword chi at the same time he was trapped by them. The snake head wand suddenly made a terrifying scream like an awakened snake. As the snake opened its mouth, it shot out countless fine lines. They soon weaved together and formed a big net. After some cracking sounds, Sure TAA found that the first wave of sword chi were completely blocked by this huge net. Slice. The net also became broken after stopping the first wave of sword chi, but Suo Anshan immediately spat some essence blood, and the snake spat out more lines and a faster pace. You can cultivate space cracks. Sure TAA's face changed, but before he could react, the huge snake wand grew again into 100 meters long. The tail of the snake started waving. Rumble. The tail flicked away the Gru spear out. At the same time, Sure TAA spat blood in the air. Yi Mo felt that his domain was shattering piece by piece and knew his cultivation essence wouldn't be able to stop this flick of the tail. Before it reached him, he flew up and landed on the side. Because he wasn't attacking with full power, he didn't have any difficulty in leaving. Sure TAA's eyes burst red at the same time and threw out tens of formation flags like crazy. Yi Mo didn't go up now. He had never been using his full power. He felt Sure TAA was scarier than Suo Anshan. Sure TAA seemed to have lost his marbles throwing out this many formation flags. How could Yi Mo not know what he was doing? He wanted to self-destruct the ringed Immortal Slaughter formation. If that happened, not only would Suo Anshan be injured, but so would he. Suo Anshan couldn't tell that Sure TAA was going to self-destruct the formation, but he noticed something was wrong. Before he could react, Sure TAA released that gray spear again. It sliced across the air and pierced at Suo Anshan. The gray beam grew faster and faster until it birthed countless spear shadows. Suo Anshan sneered and released his snake wand, but instantly his face changed. You're going to self-destruct your ruined spirit spear? It's a magic artifact that can grow itself, but you're going to self-destruct it? Although Yi Mo knew Sure TAA wasn't going to do that, but he was shocked by Suo Anshan's words. Magic artifact that can grow itself? Was it something like his Zisu? Sure TAA sneered and didn't answer Suo Anshan. He knew he had tried to overestimate Suo Anshan, but he still ended up underestimating him. But luckily, he was carefully enough and set up two formations. Just as Yi Mo thought, he was going to self-destruct the attack formation. He believed that no matter how powerful Suo Anshan was, he wouldn't be able to survive that unscathed. He would be injured too, but Sure TAA believed he would be injured the least. As for Yi Mo, it was just a nice guy who came to deliver him the Mist Lotus Heartfire. He just wanted Yi Mo to be a bait to lure Suo Anshan over. Rumble. The wand and the spear clashed together, splashing cultivation essence everywhere and sending shockwaves in the void space. Suo Anshan noticed that the spear was fine while the space around him was getting volatile. That instant, he realized what was going on. He pointed at Taa and yelled, furiously, "You're crazy. You dared a self-destruct formation." Taa spat a few mouthfuls of blood without hesitation. The entire space shook violently. Mo sighed, and almost instantly he took back Mist Lotus Heartfire and went into the Space Storm Center. Seeing this, Taa sneered. It was useless where you went when his level 9 formation self-destructed, but he had no use for this insect now. With his formation, he would be able to find Yi Mo's storage ring and take the Mist Lotus Heartfire. Suo Anshan released 3 extreme grade cultivation artifact shields. At the same time, his snake wand formed a huge shadow and enveloped him. This wasn't it. He also used Li Ming Fire to form a fire barrier to protect him. Rumble, rumble. This formation was Taa's after all, so although he was in the center of the explosion, he was in a much better state than Suo Anshan. Mo instantly went into the Golden Page world in the center of the storm. The only reason he came here was to hide in the Golden Page world. The surveillance formations Mo threw out were instantly destroyed. One could see how terrifying this level 9 formation was. A few seconds later, Mo saw from the formation discs he threw out that the explosion eased up. He then went out of the Golden Page world and went invisible. If possible, he wanted to ambush Taa. He knew Taa wouldn't be killed by his own formation. He wouldn't even be heavily injured. As soon as Mo came out of the Golden Page world, the terrifying explosive force came. This instantly left countless sword chi marks on him, but they couldn't do much to him. There was only a few wounds. The space storm also became messy due to the explosion of the formation. Suo Anshan sat up shakily. His snake head wand was broken, and the 3 extreme grade cultivation artifact shields were gone. Mo knew Suo Anshan was over. Even though he wasn't dead, it would take him about half a year to a year to recover cultivation essence. Taa wasn't going to give him this opportunity. Taa spat some blood and waved the spear in his hands, saying coldly, "You asked me before why I didn't stop Su Qingfei sleeping with you? Now I can answer. She can sleep with you because I set everything up, but that bitch doesn't even know herself." Hearing this, Mo was confused. Was the anger and excitement Taa showing before fake? Now, he realized why Taa didn't answer Suo Anshan's question, because if he did, then he would be suspicious of Taa's emotions before. If he was suspicious of Taa, he wouldn't help him fight Suo Anshan. Hearing this, Mo was confused. Was the anger and excitement Taa showing before fake? Now, he realized why Taa didn't answer Suo Anshan's question, because if he did, then he would be suspicious of Taa's emotions before. If he was suspicious of Taa, he wouldn't help him fight Suo Anshan. Who is it? Taa suddenly looked at Mo's direction. Mo was shook. He just showed a little emotions, and Taa noticed it. Who can it be? It's me, of course, Vice City Lord Shur. Mo didn't need to hide himself anymore. At the same time, Mo threw out Shadowless just in case. "You're fine." Taa looked at Mo in shock, stating the obvious. Mo knew this was because this was too shocking to Taa, that he was completely fine. Mo looked at Taa in surprise. Did Vice City Lord Shur want something to happen to me? Then Mo blamed Vice City Lord Shur. "You're really not nice. I at least helped you quite a bit, but you didn't even notice me when you let the fireworks out. I was so scared, I almost forgot to block my ears." Taa looked at Mo for a long time with uncertainty, but didn't answer anything. How could he not know that Mo was being sardonic to him? He wasn't afraid of Mo, but Suo Anshan wasn't dead. And if he fought with Mo even for a few seconds, who knows what would happen? Now, he no longer dared to underestimate Mo. He was only truth realization state level 2, but He was a disaster state body refinement master. He could not only escape from Suwa Anshan's trap, but also from his level 9 formation self-destruction. That was in a rush, and I didn't get to notify Brother Yi. Luckily, Brother Yi is powerful and fine. Shirtaa realized Yimo's threat and immediately said politely, as though it was really all just an accident. Suwa Anshan also looked at Yi Mo with surprise. He suddenly said, "Yi, if you trust Shirtaa, what happens to me will happen to you. I'm exhausted of cultivation essence now, and all my meridians are broken. That Shirtaa didn't have it easy too. If I were you, I would attack him. Brother Yi, I'm injured, but it's not serious. Brother Yi, don't listen to him. You killed his daughter. And son, how can he let that go? Plus, we were in an alliance before." Shirtaa said slowly. Yi Mo smiled. Of course, he knew that Shirtaa really wasn't seriously injured. So before he fought with Shirtaa, he had to get his payment. He then looked at Suwa Anshan and nodded. "Suwa, you're right. I was invited by Shirtaa to fight you, not completely because you were hunting me. I'm not scared of being hunted because I'm used to it. I came to find you because I heard you have a lot of good things in your storage ring. I think if you give your storage ring to me, I won't attack you." What Yi Mo didn't expect was that as soon as he said this, Suwa Anshan took off his storage ring and gave it to Yi Mo. "Yi, although you killed me, son, I trust you more. If a trash can give his own woman to someone else to sleep, that trash does not deserve to talk to me, nor does he deserve to own my things. Even if you kill me, I will let Shirtaa, this bastard, die before me." Yi Mo took it and laughed. "Suwa, you've been talking bullshit the entire time, but you've finally said something noteworthy. You're right. If a trash can give his own woman to someone else, then working with that trash is asking for trouble." Then Yi Mo released Octagonal Cauldron and Zisu. Shirtaa said calmly to Yi Mo, "Brother Yi, we agreed that we would have half each. How come I don't see you taking out that other half? Do you want to have it all to yourself? Or do you think just because I'm injured you can do whatever you want?" Yi Mo looked at Shirtaa speechlessly. This guy also had such a thick face. Yi Mo sighed after a long, sigh. "Vice City Lord, sure, although I don't want to admit it, but I must say you guessed it. I like to abuse the injured and weak. I saw that you're injured, so I want to have it all to myself." Before Yi Mo finished, he expanded out his domain, and Zisu brought out a purple sword raise. Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike. Shirtaa had seen Yi Mo in action before, and he knew that this strike was completely different to the domain-shattering strike he saw before. The previous strike was the combination of cultivation essence and spirit sense, but this strike seemed to be alive. He had never seen someone who can control every sword ray he released and use it to form a formation to trap the opponent. Shirtaa regained his composure moments later. He didn't even need to wave his hand, and countless vines birthed out of the void. They looked very disgusting. But these vines also seemed to have their own, just like Yi Mo's sword rays. It formed a huge net shape enclosing all of Yi Mo's purple sword rays. Shirtaa thought that even though he was heavily injured, his vines would be able to deplete Yi Mo's purple sword rays quickly and then trap him. But when the two clashed together, he immediately knew he was wrong. Crack! Shirtaa found that if he didn't keep inserting cultivation essence and spirit sense into the vines, they would be no match for Yi Mo's purple sword rays. Divining that Yi Mo didn't even use his heaven flame, yet Shirtaa felt things weren't good. He began to sweat cold. Yi Mo's cultivation essence and spirit sense were far beyond his expectations. He did have other trump cards, but it wasn't time to use it yet. Another wave of cracks sounded, and Shirtaa's face finally changed. He realized that his domain couldn't match with Yi Mo's domain. This meant that Yi Mo was only truth realization state level 2, but his domain was more powerful and perfect than his, although this was due to him being injured, but He really didn't want to believe that. You hid your power before? You intentionally let Suwa Anshan's flame burn my vines and then use your heaven flame, right? Then you intentionally left holes in your flames too? Sure Taa couldn't resist reproaching. Yi Emo looked at Sure Taa in shock. I heard Vice City Lord Sure say you didn't fear Suwa Anshan, so I didn't dare to use full power. Aren't powerful people usually very prideful? If I used my full power, and then that wouldn't showcase Vice City Lordshire's power, that would be a great offense. I didn't expect Vice City Lordshire was smart enough to see it. Great. Sure Taa calmed down again. A mere truth realization state level 2 dare to trick me. Then he waved his hand, and the ruined spirit spear immediately brought about endless void killing intent piercing over. Halfway, it separated into 9 black spears. They were like a huge 9-fingered claw looming over Yemo. The purple sword rays also sizzled and disappeared in the wake of the 9 spears. Hearing this, Yemo's heart sunk. He knew his domain had shattered. Before he could react, the 9 spears were in front of him. There was a putrid smell. Yemo knew these 9 shadows were no ordinary things. Before he could think, he inserted all of his cultivation essence into the octagonal cauldron, and the octagonal cauldron spun rapidly. Thud. There was a huge clash, and Yi Emo felt his meridians going chaotic. He spat blood out as he was sent flying with his octagonal cauldron. He didn't even have time to use his heaven flame. Seeing the power of Yemo's Zisu, Suwa Anshan was also shook himself. He didn't expect a truth realization state level 2 would have such powerful sword technique, but he only wanted Yemo to be stronger and stronger. Even if Yemo kills him in the end, as long as he can see Sure Taa die first, he would be satisfied. Plus, he had void life, force marrow. As long as Yemo and Sure Taa can fight for a while, he would be able to recover 80%. Seeing the power of Yemo's Zisu, Suwa Anshan was also shook himself. He didn't expect a truth realization state level 2 would have such powerful sword technique, but he only wanted Yemo to be stronger and stronger. Even if Yemo kills him in the end, as long as he can see Sure Taa die first, he would be satisfied. Plus, he had void life force marrow. As long as Yemo and Sure Taa can fight for a while, he would be able to recover 80%. The reason he gave his storage ring to Yemo without hesitation was because he didn't want Yemo to remember he still had voice life, force marrow. No one knew that the instant the explosion occurred, he took out the void life, force marrow from the storage ring. But Sure Taa's power was far beyond his expectation. He was injured in the explosion of the level 9 formation, but he was still able to send Yemo flying in one move. There was disappointment in his eyes. His hatred toward Sure Taa was inexplicable. This person knew Princess Chuan was his daughter, but still let her sleep with his son. Comparatively, Yemo only killed his son, and therefore the hatred wasn't that big. Unfortunately, Yemo had some power, but he was still far too weak. Sure Taa wasn't going to let him go. Thinking about this, Sure Taa indeed charged at Yemo again. His hand sprayed out countless seeds. These seeds instantly budded in the air, and countless buds sprouted. They turned into countless vines. If these vines joined together, Yemo wouldn't have the opportunity to attack again. Sure Taa would only need to watch Yemo being killed by these vines, or keep spraying out seeds when the vines were being burned by the heaven flame. Seeing this, Yemo was furious. This Sure Taa didn't take him seriously at all. Brother, you why do this? We agreed to cooperate, but you want to rob my thing. Sigh. Sure Taa said calmly while forming the 9 spear shadows again. Seeing this, Yemo sneered and hacked Zisu at the ruined spirit spear while releasing Mist Lotus Heart Fire. Seeing this, Sure Taa sneered. Suwa Anshan's heaven flame was ranked lower than Yemo's, but the difference wasn't huge. and Suwa Anshan was truth realization state peak stage. If he wasn't afraid of Suwa Anshan's heaven flame, why would he be afraid of Yimo's heaven flame? Even if heaven flame can really counter his vines, he still had other means to easily kill Yi-Mo. What shook Taa was that Yi-Mo didn't form a fire cloud with the heaven flame. Instead, the heaven flame formed into a huge blue sun that hung mid-air. The sun emitted countless blue rays that instantly covered this entire space. Moments later, this area turned into a blue world. If they didn't see Mo release this sun, they would have thought they went back to solid land, back to the cultivation realm. Seeing this, Suwa Anshan's eyes narrowed. He was already the peak of the cultivation realm. How could he not know that this was Yimo's heaven flame cultivation method? This was a true method of using heaven flame. He had been searching for countless years and couldn't find a heaven flame cultivation method. Yet today, he saw this on a young truth realization state cultivator. This made Suwa Anshan sigh. Just how many good finds did this cultivator have? The terrifying blue rays didn't give him time to think anymore. He barely released his Li Ming flame, forming a heaven flame barrier to block the blue rays. But Taa didn't have it so easy now. Yi-Mo didn't even need to use the fire cloud to burn his vines. Just releasing this sun put him at the complete lower hand of the battle. Sizzle, the putrid stench grew, and the endless vines were all turned to dust under the heaven flame 9 suns. Taa was shook. He didn't expect the pawn he found to be able to use the heaven flame better than the original opponent. Rumble, Zisu, and Ruined Spirit's spear clashed together. The 9 spear shadows were scattered. Yi-Mo flew back, more than 10 meters back into the storm center before. Yi-Mo knew there was still a huge difference between him and Taa in terms of cultivation essence and spirit sense. Both of their powers were beyond truth realization state peak stage. One could call them a fake immortal. Taa wasn't happy at all striking Yi-Mo away. He knew that he was stronger than Yi-Mo in cultivation essence, but because of his injuries and overexertion of cultivation essence, he might not be able to finish Yi-Mo off quickly. He really didn't understand why Yi-Mo was fine when he self-destructed his level 9 formation. Sure, Taa didn't understand, but he didn't have time to think about that. He looked coldly at Yi-Mo and said, "You force me. I will let you know true despair." He waved his hand again, and countless shadows appeared in the air. Then he spat many mouthfuls of essence blood into it. Then the shadows started to move. When Yi-Mo saw them, he was shook. Corpse puppets, truth realization state corpse puppets. Corpse puppet was an extremely cruel cultivation method. The practitioner would capture other cultivators alive and bind their essence spirit. Then he would sink the cultivator into a special fluid for 100 years. But the cultivator wouldn't die, and his body would become extremely tough. At this time, the cultivator would pull the puppet out and burn him with his own cultivation essence fire for 100 years. During this time, the puppet would be conscious. He would have to endure inhumane torture and endless horror. 200 years later, their conscience would be devoured by the puppet master, but their essence spirit would be kept. At this moment, they would just be a puppet, but they would be stronger than they were alive. Their levels are based on their cultivation level when they were alive. These corpse puppets were clearly made with truth realization state cultivators. Seeing this, Suwa Anshan pointed at Taa in shock. So all those missing cultivators were turned into corpse puppets by you. Taa's face was pale too, and he looked coldly at Suwa Anshan. "You will be my 931 truth realization state corpse puppet." Then he looked coldly at Yi-Mo, "Forcing me to use this. You will be my weakest corpse puppet." Yi-Mo had annihilated all the vines and didn't want to waste his spirit sense, so he took away the mist lotus heart fire and ate a few spirit recovery pills. He looked at Taa and said coldly, "Sure, You have such power, but you waited till today to attack and ask me to help. I don't think you're afraid of the Li Ming fire, and your acting skills are quite good. I almost thought it was real. Chertier ate a few pills and looked snarly at Yi Mo. I wasn't acting. I'm really furious. I did give her away, but am I not allowed to be angry? He then said coldly, You know why I haven't turned Di Shueming into a corpse puppet yet? Because she's the only woman I've ever loved. Before I turn her into a corpse puppet, I will satisfy her wish. I know Shui Qingfei doesn't really like Suo Anshan, but I know she really did fall in love with Di Shueming. I will turn her into a corpse puppet with Di Shueming. Pity. It's too early to show my corpse puppets today. Chertier calmed down. Psychopath. Yi Mo sneered. Both of them were recovering their spirit sense and cultivation essence. I know why you waited till now to attack. You didn't wait for Yi to stop my Li Ming fire. Even if he didn't appear, you were planning to attack in these 2 months because you're waiting for her. Chertier suddenly roared, Shut up. Then Chertier waved his ruined spirit spear, and those few hundred corpse puppets rushed at Yi Mo. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.